Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to the channel. Today we've got Carlos Alcaraz taking on Tommy Paul in Toronto. Quarterfinals of Toronto. Earlier today, Davidovich Fokina got the win, and Alex de Minaur got the win over Daniil Medvedev. So that's crazy. One of those guys is going to be in the final, which is it's kind of hard to believe, to be honest. But yeah, anyway, this side of the draw, we got Alcaraz taking on Paul. We got Sinner taking on Monfils. One of those guys is going to be in the final. Alcaraz or Sinner. I don't think anybody would be surprised by those guys. Sinner, Monfils or Paul. A few more people would be surprised, but it's really like the Alcaraz Sinner half versus now what's turned out to be a really chaotic bottom half. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for joining in. Both players are warming up at the moment. Warming up their serves. What's up? Who we got in the chat? We got Matt in here. I wonder if Tennis Channel sticks with the Swiatek match, moves over to Carlos. Yeah, they might stick with Swiatek, especially because Daniel Collins is an American. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. What's up? We got Fina in the chat as well. Good evening or afternoon, wherever it is, where everyone is. 1 a.m. here in Norway. Ooh, Fina, legend. Watching from Norway. Awesome. Awesome stuff. But yeah, Godfrey to join in like always. Anthony, yeah, what's up? I'm a mod. I cheer for whomever I like. Yeah, Zerafin, you're a mod now. You can do whatever. Yeah, what's up, everybody? What's up? So these two have played twice before. So the first time these two played was in Canada last year, and it was really a sensational shot-making match where I felt like both guys really, I don't know, it wasn't like the match of the year or anything like that, but it was a match that really got me excited for the next times that these two guys would play. I was like, man, I need to see more of this. Like the rallies and some of the shot making that they were having was amazing. Not to mention that Tommy Paul won. Tommy Paul beat Alcaraz in the first round of Canada last year. It was kind of a weird result, kind of almost an anomaly in the season of Alcaraz. Although Nori beat him in Cincinnati as well, so that just not a great part of the season going into the U.S. Open, where of course he got his first major title. But I was really excited for what their next matches were going to be like, and we got one in Miami earlier this year, where Alcaraz won in straight sets. Scoreline doesn't look particularly entertaining or particularly interesting, but if you looked at the match, the second set was every single point was crazy. It was one of the craziest shot-making sets, the second set there that you'll see. I mean, first set, Tommy Paul, I really didn't think played a very high level, and he was making a lot of errors. Alcaraz was hitting a ton of winners. It just wasn't a strong set from Paul, but Alcaraz was playing such a high level that Paul really raised his level as the match went on. But yeah, anyway, we got quarterfinals here, Toronto. Both players are about to start. It's Alcaraz serving first. And we got Terry in the chat, but Carlos beat Paul in Miami. Yeah. Yes, he did. Yeah. That's it. All right, Alcaraz to serve first. I'm so excited for this. I want to see another like tight three setter between this one where every point is like the craziest thing ever. Can we get that, please? Just where every point is so crazy. First serve is long. Second serve comes from Carlos. We got the scoreline here. Double fault to start off, love 15. Love 15 here. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. I think it's going to be a good one. I'm excited for later today. I'm going to be doing a double Sinner versus Monfils later today, which is so awesome. Join in for that too. I'm excited for that. You don't want to miss tonight. Tonight's going to be fun. Fun day of streams. Body serve. Oh, it's a good backhand from Paul. Good forehand on the slide from Alcaraz. Backhand lob from Alcaraz. Kind of sliced, but it's a smash put away from Paul. Love 30. Paul trying to get a quick start here. Listen, it's far from impossible for me to see an upset happening here. I wouldn't even be that. Like, listen, I on a best bet, I think Alcaraz wins this. I pick Alcaraz to win this. But listen, Alcaraz he hasn't brought his best level. He hasn't brought even worlds close to his best level. And in this tournament so far, He really did not play his best tennis against Shelton. Shelton just didn't take any of the opportunities that he was given. Second set was a tiebreaker. And then against Hurkacz nearly with the most unexpected comeback of the year against Alcaraz in the down a match point and 2 breaks. Nearly comes back. He was also up a set in a break. So Alcaraz just really hasn't brought his best level. He was on his serving hasn't been there. He's been hitting errors. It's just not been there for him. Packing right to the volley of Alcaraz. Wow, 15-30. Those are the kind of points you expect. Listen, I'm coming into Paul Alcaraz now super hyped. Like, Paul Alcaraz is now one of my more liked rivalries. I know they've only played twice, but Miami was crazy. Miami was nuts. So I'm looking forward to it. Sinner, Monfils could be a lot of fun. Yeah, to me, those are 2 of the most talented players on the tour. To be honest, I think those are 2 of the most talented players on the tour. So we could see some great rallies in that one. And Monfils, quarterfinals of a Masters, that's fun. Backhand cross into the backhand of Alcaraz, cross to the backhand of Paul to the backhand of Alcaraz. What a switch up down the line. Wow, redirected that beautifully. 30-all. 30-all here. Carlos needs to work on his first serve. Yeah, first serve percentage is a big, it's a good way of seeing if Alcaraz is in his best form, if he's making a lot of first serves. He really needs to improve first serve and also just make it a better weapon. Yeah, he's played terrible this tournament. Yeah, Alcaraz has not been there this tournament so far. Let's see if he picks it up. It hasn't been great matches from him. Certainly far from his best level. Let's go. Hopefully Paul challenges Carlos. Hurkacz should have won yesterday, in my opinion. Completely agree. Hurkacz should have got the win. It was just Carlos doing Carlos things and fighting it out, which was crazy. But yeah, let's hope that Paul makes this a contest. Like I said, I've been wanting a huge tight 3-setter between these 2, where all sets are tight. It's another double fault from Carlos, 30-40. I don't know if it's the fact that Carlos, this is his first time playing in Toronto. Of course, the courts in Toronto are a little bit different than in Montreal. He played 2 horrible breakers, Hubert. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. His confidence really hasn't been there to put it away in the tight moments this year. Other than that, Alcaraz really played poor. Alcaraz was playing poor tennis, at least compared to his usual. Backhand from Paul. Backhand pickup from Alcaraz. Big forehand from Paul. Forehand's going to be long. Paul gets the first break to start off the match. We're at 1-0. Tommy Paul making a statement because he knows he beat this guy last year. That's going to give him confidence too. Not only did he beat him last year, he beat him last year at this tournament. He beat him last year at the National Bank Open. So, hello, Anthony. Hey, what's up, Osaka Net? What's up? We got a good one here. And then after this, we got Sinner taking on Monfils. Sinner's a big favorite. We all know that. But you never know with Monfils. Monfils is sneaky. Let's see what happens. Wow, Paul, yeah. But listen, especially if Alcaraz does go out either in the quarters or the semifinals, listen, this is such a good chance for Sinner to get his first Masters. And it really feels right. I mean, it feels right. We haven't played any Masters since the clay season, but listen, we've been waiting for Jannik to get a Masters, so it kind of feels right. He's just been knocking out the door forever. It's 1-0 for Paul anyway. But Alcaraz, listen, 1-0 isn't a match win. Paul's going to have to put in a lot of work against any version of Alcaraz. Forehand, cross. That's too good from Paul. Not really quality. Carlos was up 5-2 and gave the games away, not Hubie. Upping his game. Yeah, it was Carlos's lack of level that really let Hubie into the match. No doubt about it. Hubie played well. I mean, he served well. His speed was actually very impressive in the match as well. He was doing some things right, come to net, but if Carlos was anywhere near his best, that wouldn't have been a problem. Forehand, cross into the net, 30 love. This is a quick start for Tommy. Quick start for Paul. Quick start for the American here. In their match in Miami, by the way, Paul only made 62% of first serves in. He lost 46. He only won 46% of his second serve points. That's always a key stat as well. He needs to make some more first serves in. And really be the one being aggressive and dictating. Can't let Alcaraz just be hitting winners all over the court like he did in Miami. Paul will need to step in and be aggressive. And part of what he needs to do for that is make a lot of serves in. It's a double fault there. Double fault. We've had 9 points so far. 3 of them have been double faults. So let's try to stray away from that. Iga in control against Collins. Yep, that's in. Yeah, Faison's got the call for you over there. If you want to join in for that one as well. Both breakers, though QB was terrible, barely any first serves and shocking errors. Goes without saying, Alcaraz was not at his best. The great players find a way. That's it. Carlos seems to find a way, but he's not going to every time at this level. Easy smash for Paul into the opposite corner, 40-15. And we shouldn't be surprised that Tommy Paul can challenge Carlos in some kind of way. So that shouldn't be surprising. That's a quick start for Paul, especially with Alcaraz at the level he's shown at this tournament so far. What do you think about Medvedev today, Anthony? Pretty sorry. I was busy. I wasn't able to catch the match live. I haven't caught much of a replay anyway, aside from a few points. But listen, I thought de Minaur is very good. I know Demon beat him in Paris, so I far from discounted Demon in that matchup. But it's definitely surprising that Medvedev can get it done. We'll see if he picks up his level as the hard court swing, whether it's Shanghai and all those other tournaments, Paris, or if it's the North American hard court swing. But let's see if Medvedev picks it up. 2-0. It is like Medvedev and de Minaur are kind of like two defensive players, but de Minaur has been much more offense-minded this year and also last year. I thought de Minaur really picked up his level last year. The results just weren't there for him, but it's good he found the results this year. Forehand is wide from Alcaraz, making a lot of errors. Love 15. Love 15 here. We got Carlos taking on Paul in Toronto quarters, and it's Paul with the quick start. Serve goes out, second serve. Kick serve, backhand of Paul, forehand of Alcaraz, forehand of Paul to the forehand of Alcaraz, forehand of Paul, cross, goes wide, 15 all. 15 all in this one. Alcaraz trying to at least get on the board here. It's a good first serve from Alcaraz, 30-15. 30-15 here. Serve out wide is a let. Another serve coming from Carlos. So line, forehand of Paul. Carlos trying to get on the board. Carlos such an elite returner. He should get chances on the Paul serve. So this set is not done by any means. And also, he had a slow start against Shelton, and he really picked it up after the first few games of that first set. Similar thing happened again in the Hurkacz match as well in the second set. So at least a little bit. So we'll see if Carlos picks it up a little bit. But so far, it's Paul 2-1. 2-1, 10 minutes into this contest. But yeah, Carlos really needs to make his first serves in and be better on serve because he really hasn't had it in this tournament so far. 55%. I mean, both guys abysmal first serve percentage just in the few points we've had so far. But yeah, both players are going to want that number to be high. Whoever has the higher first serve percentage, that can be a really key stat in this match, I think. Both players want to dictate and be having the better first strike tennis on their serve. Yeah, how are you guys feeling? Who do you think is going to win Canada? I know a lot of people were picking Alcaraz before the tournament started, but there are more doubts kind of creeping in about Carlos. Y'all still have Carlos for the win, or is somebody else taking it? It's Tommy Paul winning Canada, Monfils with a miracle run. Let me know who you got winning at this point in the tournament. Quarterfinals, second half of quarterfinals. But like I said, after this one, we got Yannick Sinner taking on Gil Monfils. So don't miss that one as well. We're gonna go crazy. 2-1. for 2-1 for Paul. Yeah, Alcaraz is 47-4 on the season going into this one. He's now 49-4. That's the highest single season winning percentage for a player under 21 years old ever. 92% win percentage. The highest after him is 89%. So, I mean, he's really had an all-time great season if he keeps it up. 92% of YouTube poll gone for Carlos. Okay, well, I'm personally not 92% confident that Carlos is going to win it. I think it's a bit tighter than that. We'll see, though. We'll see. It's the Paul serve into the net. Second serve. Carlos forehand cross into the forehand of Paul. Forehand of Carlos, cross, forehand of Paul. For a pass, that's a drop volley. Paul runs, but no way he can get there. Love 15. Carlos with a bit of a vamos and a fist pump. Love 15. If Monfils beats Sinner, you'll be upset, but I know you'll go insane. Haha. Yeah, you know me perfect, I think. That's exactly what will happen. Now, I'll be a bit more upset because I think this is such a good chance for Sinner at this tournament, but no, I'll hype for. I mean, maybe I'll probably go crazy. I mean, hats off to Monfils if he can do it at this stage in his career. That would be absolutely crazy. He's never won a Masters event. For him to do it at like what 37, that would be ridiculous. That match's gonna go crazy anyway. I'm a big fan of both guys. Love 30. I really like how Monfils is playing. I'm going with him. Wow, Matt. Okay, that's huge. Women's, I'm going to say Swiatek. Really going out on a limb in that women's. That's what I was going to say too. But I mean, listen, it's enough that you pick Monfils for men's. That makes up for it. That's crazy. I like it though. I like the gall to pick Monfils. That would be crazy. I mean, if Monfils wins the whole tournament, I'm going crazy. I probably will, even if he beats Sinner, but I want Sinner to do something now that the draw has opened up like it has. See what happens though. Forehand into the backhand of Carlos. Backhand goes out. And it's 15-30. Paul trying to keep the lead. Keep in front on serve. Terry Carlos. Okay, yeah. Could be Carlos. I mean, listen, if we're going by Carlos's season so far, then probably Carlos. I mean, he's made it out of so many tough situations. He's picked up his level as tournaments have gone on. But I don't know. It feels a little bit different in Toronto. I don't know if Carlos will do it, but I picked Carlos before the tournament started. Ooh, huge squash shot from Paul. What a shot. Backhand. Down the middle to the backhand of Carlos. Forehand from Paul into the forehand of Carlos. That goes out. That was a sick squash shot from Paul on a big moment, 30-all. On a big moment, 30-all. If Monfils actually wins, I'll go Farrell. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, if both Sinner and Alcaraz win, though, we're getting Sinner Alcaraz part. What is it? I can't do math. Part 7. They're 3-3 in their head-to-head. We get another Sinner Alcaraz, and that's crazy. So I don't know. I'll be the first person in line to watch that match. That is my favorite rivalry, Sinner Alcaraz. That's an event every time. Smash. Oh, Alcaraz still runs for it, but it's into the ground, 40-30. Paul does a grand escape there. Sinner Alcaraz is different. Alcaraz has the highest first serve return points won since Nadal a while ago. Something around 37%, I think. Yeah, that's wild. That's crazy. Alcaraz doing really well on first serve return, which has really helped him in this tournament because first serve hasn't really been there for him, but he'll want both if he wants to win this tournament. First serve and first serve return. So forehand of Paul. Backhand Paul into the net. Deuce. If it's Tommy Paul Monfils, I'll be mad. Yeah, no, I know. We're done. Yeah, Paul Monfils isn't the head-to-head that had that crazy match at the U.S. Open last year. Even at Wimbledon. I got a fun fact, by the way. I don't think everybody knows this. It's a fun fact about the Sinner Alcaraz rivalry. I'll say it after this. There's so many. It's just such a cool rivalry. It's just cool. You know what I mean? It's just sick. But it's a forehand down the line as a winner from Paul. Advantage. It's just a cool rivalry, Sinner Alcaraz. But a fact about them is the first opponent that Alcaraz ever played in a challenger tournament was Jannik Sinner. They were both wild cards in this tournament. The first player that Alcaraz plays at this like pro ATP level outside of futures, but challengers and ATP. First person he plays is Jannik Sinner. Very first opponent. He wins it 6-3 in the third set. It's a forehand shanked out from Paul. But yeah, first opponent Alcaraz ever played in a challenger was Sinner. It's like meant to be. The first 4 matches they played were all on different surfaces. It was first on indoor hard courts, then it was on, let me get this right, grass courts, then clay courts, then outdoor hard courts at the U.S. Open, I believe. It's like a meant-to-be rivalry. It's awesome. Backhand cross and the backhand slice of Carlos, backhand slice of Paul into the net. Advantage for Carlos. But yeah, Sean, Paul Monfils isn't what we're looking for. We're looking for Sinner Alcaraz. Now, Paul Monfils, those are 2 of the better athletes on the tour, though. That wouldn't be bad, but apparently Alcaraz beat him when he was 15 as juniors. Yeah, that's the match I'm talking about. It was in Alicante, I don't know how to say it. But another name for it, Juan Carlos Ferrero Open. The first tournament that they played was called the Juan Carlos Ferrero Open, where both of them got wild cards. Kick serve into the backhand of Carlos. That goes out, though. Deuce. Ash from our channel is in Toronto watching this one right now. Oh, how cool is that? That's crazy. Good for Ash. Ash out here. Ash got to do a vlog like I did for Atlanta. His is going to be better than mine, Toronto. Watching Alcaraz. That's awesome. What a return from Alcaraz on the slide. Squash shot. That's a great shot past Carlos, though. Where level's starting to pick up. That return should not have gone in play, but Alcaraz can do impossible things on tennis court. Oh, they were pros and that didn't know that. Oh, yeah. Right. Not juniors like Junior Wimbledon. Yeah, challenger tournament, first round. It's a round of 64 match. Yeah, crazy. Serve out wide. Ooh, that's a backhand out from Carlos. 3-1. 3-1 for Paul. 19 minutes into this one, Paul escapes what could have been a big problem for Paul. And look, it looks like Paul might take the set. He has the momentum at the moment, 3-1. Paul owns Alcatraz. Well, I mean, he's up 3-1. He beat him in Canada last year. We'll see. You can't ever count out Alcaraz. Everybody thought Hurkacz was beating Alcaraz. Alcaraz made out of that match unscathed. So, and it looked like he was going to come out of there with wounds and scars, and he was going to be out of Canada, and he was going to look iffy for Cincinnati, but he's still in this tournament. It's a forehand from Carlos into the backhand of Paul. That goes out. 15-love. Are you going to U.S. Open? I applied for media, but I was a bit too late for it. We can lock in U.S. Open, but next year I will be going to the U.S. Open, whether I'm media or not. I've decided next year I'm totally going to the U.S. Open. But it's hard for me to make arrangements to go to New York. I got other stuff going on, but yeah, not this year. I don't think so. Yeah, shout out to Ash from QualityShot, another commentator for the channel. Shout out Ash being in Toronto. That's pretty sick. That's cool. Forehand return from Paul into the backhand drop shot of Carlos. That hits the tape, goes over. Paul just barely can't get under it. 40-love. It's a double bounce. I made that change on Twitter. I looked at the score wrong of Swiatek. Honestly, watch this match. Yeah, it's looking good. I knew it was going to be good. I mean, listen, their matches in Miami and in Canada were both crazy. I mean, Miami was straight sets, but it was the most entertaining straight sets match, at least that second set. Backhand into the backhand slice of Carlos goes out from Paul, but it's 3-2. Carlos more solid on serve ever since that first game. Something we've seen a few times in this tournament so far is players serving first and playing a poor game getting broken. Not really paying dividends, so you have to be locked in from the first game in the sport. Let me know, what time is it where y'all are watching from? Let me know in chat, what time is it where you're watching this match? Let me know. Yeah, another fun fact. Like, there's so many funny facts about Sinner Alcaraz. Like, I just love that rivalry, man. I mean, there's also the fact that in that challenger, how should I put this? So, U.S. Open, they play in the quarterfinals. In Umag, they play in the final. In Wimbledon, they play in the round of 16. In Paris, they play in the round of 32. And in Indian Wells, they play in the semifinals. In the Challenger tournament they play in the round of 64. In their first, 5 matches, they played in every single round of the tournament possible. Like, it's like a meant to be, like, it's so funny. Like I said, they played on every surface in their first round. I don't know. Everything about it just feels so good. I love this rivalry. I mean, it's stupid. It's not meant to be. I know. I'm just joking around, but it's just cool. And I love how they push each other when they play each other. It's just a very fun rivalry to watch. 3-2 for Paul. Excuse me. 3-2 for Paul serving. Thank you guys for joining. It's going to be fun. We'll be here for the rest of this match. Like I said, Cinnamon Feast after it as well on Stadium Court. Paul to serve. 3-2. Back in return. Goes long from Alcaraz. 15 love here for Paul. Forehand return into the forehand of Paul. Inside out. Backhand slice into the forehand of Paul. Side in. Oh, that's right at Paul with a volley. Ooh, nice volley skills there from Paul. 15 love. Those are some good hands from Alcaraz. Really just carved it right in front of the net. But Paul was able to handle it. That was a beautiful pass first. Really driving that forehand. But the net skills from Paul. Cross-court volley put away. I feel like their matches show the next evolution of the game. Sliding into every ball and hitting it incredibly hard. Yeah, and also just a ton of variety. The drop shotting of Alcaraz. Both them coming to nets. Yeah, very aggressive kind of style. And very, I don't know, a lot of winners on the court. So I feel like I agree with you, for sure. It's kind of a counter also, I feel like, both of their games to a lot of players really standing far back. Both of them really have a good game for against guys like Medvedev, against guys like even Rafa, even though Rafa is almost impossible to beat. But guys who really stand far back, that's what aggressive games like they have really they match up well against guys like that. So yeah, I think the next evolution is stuff like that, playing very aggressive and coming forward, and yeah, sliding into every ball. It's interesting too. I feel like Novak is the forefront. He's the forerunner of that. People always say stuff like Novak's not fun to watch. Novak doesn't have any iconic shots like sliding back in. Who else does that? The crazy athleticism. And just, he plays tennis almost like, it's almost unbelievable to watch Djokovic play tennis because it's like, what can he do better? Outside of the overhead, which sucks. 4-2 for Paul. It's a serve out wide, forehand return, Alcaraz volley, 15 love. Only thing Novak can figure out was the overhead. 15 love here for Carlos. I hope Paul wins this first set and we get these tight moments in the second set where Alcaraz is trying to fight back. I mean, we kind of had it in the Hurkacz match, but he was only down a break at the very start of the second set. I want to see a tight epic here. Sliding backhand and elastic split shots. Yeah, exactly. I mean, return of serve, crazy. I mean, just so many. Yeah, elastic shots is a good way of putting it, for sure. Volley right off the baseline. I've seen Alcaraz do that many times. A huge forehand goes long, I think, from Alcaraz. 15 all. 15 all. Why is Alcaraz playing like this? That's tennis. I mean, you're not going to always play perfectly. You're not always going to play perfect in tennis, but yeah, it is a bit odd. Toronto so far is probably the worst 2-3 matches I've seen Carlos play this season in a row. Just hasn't really been there for him. Serve, backhand from Paul, forehand of Carlos, inside out, backhand Paul. The backhand of Carlos, backhand slice. Right from the baseline, forehand cross, forehand of Paul into the forehand of Carlos. That's huge down the line. That's the better shot from Carlos. That's Carlos. All these other shots, these aren't Alcaraz shots. That was an Alcaraz shot. Yep, return of serve, best returner of all time. Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Best returner. Yeah, backhand and forehand. His backhand return is just so fun to watch how he deals with that shot. It's a fist bump from Carlos. Gets pumped up after that. He needed a shot like that. See if he keeps picking it up. High percentage kick serve down the line. That catches sideline from Paul. He's in control. It's forehand swing volley. Lob from Carlos. Smash. Smash goes into the crowd. Carlos jumps up for it. Tries to do a Federer overhead off an overhead like he did in Basel all those years ago. But he can't quite do it. That was impossible. That one was impossible. But Carlos still went for it. Paul with the smash. Carlos jumps like a crazy person. I love it. 30-all. I thought before he came along, it was Agassi. Yeah, I think before Novak, it was Agassi. Fed is an amazing returner too. But yeah, Novak has to have it now. Rafa as well. I mean, all three of them were amazing returners. But 30-all. Sampras jump smash. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was a funny point. Serve from Carlos. Forehand return. That's bang to the forehand of Carlos. He hits it long, though. Too much pace for the Carlos forehand. We're at 30-40. A break point for the American coming up. Break point for the American coming up. Who expected this right out of the gate? So far in this match, Paul has had one break point, and he converted. 28 minutes into this match. Serve from Carlos in the backhand of Paul. Forehand of Carlos. Forehand of Paul. Forehand of Carlos. That goes out. Wow. 5-2 for Paul. I can't even hardly believe it. 5-2 for Paul. Really quick start for him. I knew this was going to be tough. I knew this was going to be a good match, but geez, 29 minutes and it's 5-2 for Paul serving. Wow. If Tommy wins, maybe this is Sinner's chance to get a Masters. I mean, Sean, even if Paul doesn't win, I feel like Sinner is going to love his chances against this version of Alcaraz. This is a great opportunity for Sinner, this event. But yeah, especially if Paul gets the win, Sinner has to feel like this is a great opportunity. I mean, I felt like he had a great opportunity in Monte Carlo. Hey, what's up, Peaches? Hey, Tony and Quality Shot Tennis fan. What's up? What's up? Yeah, it's Anthony here, commentating for Quality Shot Tennis. Anthony here for Quality Shot. Hope you guys are enjoying it. If you're enjoying it, don't forget to like the video. You know, it's kind of cool when people pass by our streams and it's like, oh, that one has 25 likes. It really helps us out in more ways than that as well. Helps recommend the channel to people, among other things. So if you are enjoying it, hit the like. And subscribe as well if you're new. Quality Shot Tennis. My dad told me a couple of weeks ago Sampras was the GOAT. I laughed at him. Yeah, that's kind of living in the past. But still, shout out Pete because he's one of the best. I mean, he's one of my favorite players ever. I mean, he really is. And growing up, Federer was miles away my favorite, but I really liked Sampras too when I was just getting into tennis. My brother was a big fan of Sampras, so I watched a few replays of him with my brother. But Collins is actually doing something versus Iga 4-3 in the second. Is that right? Yeah, on serve, but yeah, it's better in the second set. Let's see what Collins has. Swiatek had a close one against Muhova. Roland Garros rematch. All right, 5-2 here, Paul serving. Serve down the line, backhand to the backhand of Paul, cross, and the backhand of Carlos on the slide, forehand cross, forehand of Carlos, that's huge, and forehand of Paul, shorting the court, backhand cross, and the backhand of Paul. That was a very high-level rally, but it's in the net from Paul. Let's see more of that. Love 15 here. Love 15. I remember watching that Miami match that they play. I mean, I'm already on this rivalry. Even before this match started, I was like, every match these two are going to play is going to be insane. When I was watching their match in Miami in that second set, every point was different, and every point was crazy. I mean, I remember saying during that match to somebody, I was like, I hope these two play a slam final one day. That would just be crazy. That'd be awesome. It's a huge forehand return inside in. Love 30 here. Love 30 here. Hard to think that if Collins wins that second set, that Montreal day session is going to last till 9 p.m. That's crazy, Matt. Yeah. That's the thing about the rain. A few players having to play multiple times. Let's talk about Samsonova getting the win over Sabalenka as well. Sabalenka was my pick to win in women's, and she's out to Samsonova, who's really just had an amazing year since around this time last year. Forehand, cross, that's good. Oh, Alcaraz is there, though. Lob way up high. Does he make it? Goes long. Goes out, 15-30. Paul trying to serve this out still at 15-30. Yeah, we got Peaches in chat. We got Matt. We got Sean. We got Ferenc. We got Osaka Net. We got Terry. We got Faison lurking as well. He's doing that Collins call as well, but he's lurking in here as well. And Zarafin as well. So shout out everybody in the chat. We got 2 break points coming for Carlos at 15-40. Carlos trying to break right back. It's still there's still a cushion for Paul, but he's trying to break right back. By the way, Paul 2 for 2 on break points so far. Alcaraz really needs to be more clutch in saving those big moments, because that's all it takes for a big lead like this, winning those big points. It's a back and return on the defense in. It's a forehand now to the backhand of Paul, way up high. Catches the sideline, backhand from Paul, cross, and the backhand slice of Carlos to that ad side. It's a forehand cross, big forehand down the line, or it's a forehand down the line to the slice of Paul, right from the baseline. Athletic rally, Alcaraz fist bumps because he gets the game. At least some momentum going into the second set, even if he doesn't come all the way back. But listen, Alcaraz might get confidence from the fact that Hubie did this against Carlos in their last match. He was like, okay, if Hurkacz can do this against me, then maybe I can do it against Hubie, bang against Paul. But we got 5-3 here. We got 5-3 here. I'm multitasking. Haha, it's good. It's great multitasking. I'm impressed. Yeah, Faison doing a good call there for the Collins match too, or the Swiatek match. I do that every day. Will be tomorrow as well. The Bears play at 1 p.m. Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, multitasking and tough for figuring. I'm good just focusing on this match. That's a bit tougher. Carlos Alcaraz, I like him. It's hard not to like Alcaraz. It's a great sportsman as well. Seems to always have a smile on his face. And a hell of a player, to say the least. I think that goes without saying. 15 love. 15 love for Alcaraz. Trying to climb his way back into the set. I think anybody watching this will say that's far from impossible after seeing Alcaraz these last couple of years. It's 15 love. Serve out wide. Back in return goes wide from Paul. Alcaraz's first serve percentage getting a little bit better, by the way, which is important for him. It's another first serve, back in return. That's a good backhand. It's a drop shot. Paul gets it, though. Backhand from Alcaraz. Cross. It's a backhand. Tips the tape, but goes over from Paul. 30-15. 30-15 with some fun rallies. 30-15 here for Carlos. But by the way, Tommy Paul has had a good season as well. Nothing compared to the Alcaraz season. But for him, it's been great. After that match that he played against Carlos in Miami, after the hardcourt swing, the early hardcourt swing, he was 7th in the race, which means he was the 7th best player of the year going into April. So he had a really good first few months of the year. By the way, smash put away from Carlos off the ground or off the bounce, 40-15. Paul's had a really good season, and he made Acapulco final. He's played a good ball. And obviously, first major semifinal in Australia. 40-15 here. 26-17 on the season for Paul. Alcaraz going into this match 49-4, which is ridiculous. Going for his 50th win of the season. It's a serve out. Second serve coming for Carlos. It's a double fault for Carlos, 40-30. We saw a few of those early on. We're at 40-30. Thanks, guys, for joining in. I'll be here for the rest of this call. We got 30 people on the stream. Let's get this bigger. Paul versus Carlos. And then after this, we got Sinner taking on Monfils. It'll be the second Monfils match I called for the channel. First one went crazy. I called against Baez. I'll never forget that one. That one is, that's got to be my #1 stream. It's a serve down the line, backhand from Carlos into forehand of Paul, forehand of Carlos, the backhand of Paul, backhand slice of Carlos, the forehand of Paul, backhand slice, forehand of Paul, inside out, backhand slice from Carlos. It's a weak shot. Deuce, back to deuce. Paul still just not letting Carlos off the hook. But yeah, we have fun when we watch Monfils and Sinner as well. I really think that those are two of the most skillful players on the tour. So I think we're gonna have some fun tennis. And Monfils, who knows how many? It's gonna be the last time we see him in a quarterfinals of a big tournament. Monfils, you never know. He's back playing a good tennis. But how many more times are we gonna see it? You don't know. So I'm excited to call that one as well. Late in the night session. Forehand goes out on the return from Paul. No, it's a let from Carlos. Another serve. Another serve here. Serve into the back and return. Goes behind Carlos because he's inside the court. Forehand on the side from Carlos. It's a set point for Paul. Paul serve for the match. Paul serve for the set. Bit of a Freudian slip. Paul serve for the set, but he hasn't had a set point yet. First set point for Paul. First set point to take the first set against Alcaraz. First set point here for Tommy. Serve. Outwind to the backhand of Paul. Forehand. What a crazy shot from Alcaraz. Alcaraz apologizes, but he's got to apologize. Alcaraz is apologizing just because it shouldn't be possible, the shot he just did. Running like on his back foot, kind of off the rise, just hits a wicked, like almost buggy whip forehand. Just rolling around the shot for a perfect winner inside in. That was beautiful. We're at deuce. Alcaraz apologizes because he had a shot that shouldn't be possible. We're at deuce. Alcaraz still hanging around in this first set. Serve to the forehand of Paul. It's in the net. We're at advantage. This next service game is going to be interesting from Paul after serving for it once and having a set point in this game. At least tomorrow the matches are staggered, so it won't be hard to follow. I can put the football on the TV and the tennis on the laptop. Yeah, that should be good. That should be good. We got a fun night here in Toronto. I'm excited for the rest of this one. It's a kick serve into the backhand of Paul, backhand of Carlos, forehand of Paul into the backhand of Carlos, backhand of Paul, forehand of Carlos, forehand cross court into forehand cross court of Alcaraz, but he just missed a wide deuce. That we've seen that from Carlos a few times. He's going for big shots, but I don't know. He's just missing shots on big moments that he doesn't usually miss, and that's usually the sign of a player that isn't going to go all the way against the top players playing their best level, like somebody like Sinner, like somebody like like Sinner, who's left in the tournament, but no other real like big top player left in the tournament that's coming to mind. Fokina, Demonor, Paul, and Monfils. I think that's it. Weird tournament. Serve into the forehand of Paul, drop shot. That goes wide. Another set point for Paul. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, though. If Paul can't convert on these couple of set points in this game, then nerves might creep in the next game. But it's Paul with the chance here to just finish the set off for good. Carlos fighting, let's go. I mean, he always does. He always does. He always does. After that Sinner match at the U.S. Open last year and taking that title, playing 3 5-setters in a row, I never doubt the fight of Alcaraz ever again. And that's just real facts. But it's a set point here for Tommy Paul to take the first set over Carlos. First serve is out. A few too many double faults in the set so far, and the first serve just hasn't been there. Second serve here. Serve. That's a double fault. It's a first set for Tommy Paul, who took out Carlos in Canada last year. Stick around, guys. Let's see what Carlos can do. I think Carlos threw his racket a little bit as well as frustration. I don't know why. Something just mentally is just not there for Toronto or something. He was able to fight back against Hubie, but he's just not bringing his best level. He's not bringing his best game, whatever it is. Alcaraz for the win. Hey, what's up, Fawaz? Yeah, let's see. First set was for Paul. Paul played a good ball, too. Paul played a good level tennis, too. I do like Paul. I'm high on Paul, but let's see. 2-1 for Paul against Alcaraz. How many losing head-to-heads does Alcaraz have? Especially having played more than 1-2 matches. So Paul would be up 2-1 on Alcaraz. That would be huge. I don't think many people at all have head-to-head like that against Alcaraz. Mikael Ymer, I know, does. There are a few weird players like that early in Alcaraz's career, but it's hard to think of many. Let's look at the stats for the set 1. I mean, Alcaraz did not make enough. Well, I'm saying Alcaraz didn't make enough first serves in, but it says 71%. It's actually not half bad, but listen, points won on serve is really bad for Alcaraz. 61%, 30%. He saved only 1 out of 4 break points. That's the key stat, 1 for 4 break points. And both doing decent on winners to errors, but yeah, Alcaraz needs to do better being clutch on serve. There's no doubt about it. Alcaraz needs to do better on serve, and Paul's doing what he needs to do. He's being aggressive and he's getting the errors from Alcaraz as well. Runa, I think. Oh yeah, that's right. Runa does have a winning head-to-head. I was trying to remember. Runa beat Alcaraz in Paris last year, and I can't remember what was the other ones they played. Might have to look that up. FA, that's right. FA too. Has he played against Musetti outside of that Hamburg final? I gotta look into this. I might look on Tennis Abstract. I think Tennis Abstract has a thing for losing head-to-heads. That might let me know immediately. I'm gonna investigate Alcaraz losing head-to-heads. It's not very many. It's not very many. It's not very many. Second set about to get underway, by the way. All right, 0-0 here in the second set. First point. Paul, serve into the backhand of Carlos, backhand of Paul, backhand of Carlos, inside out, forehand of Paul, forehand of Carlos, backhand of Paul, into the backhand of Carlos. That goes out. 15 love for Paul. By the way, I got a crazy stat about this match too, something that Paul is currently trying to do, which would be only the second time that something's been done since 2 years ago exactly, or almost exactly, at Winston-Salem 2 years ago. Paul's trying to do something that has very rarely been done against Alcaraz. I'll let you know what that is in a minute. All right, I got the losing head-to-heads for Carlos, by the way. I'll tell you that as well. I'll let you know about that as well. 30-15, Paul with all the momentum. Trying to get a big upset here, like he did in Canada last year as well, just a little bit later in the tournament. Master Semi would be huge for Paul. Does this tournament change people's opinions about Alcaraz, the US Open? I think it absolutely will. I think it will just a bit. I'm not sure it should in a massive way. I rarely think that one tournament or one match should completely change a big thing like that, but huge. Alcaraz steps around backhand, goes for a huge return, but not quite. Not quite. Samuel, Alcaraz should win. 4 exclamation points. He should. He hasn't brought his best level in Toronto, and Paul's doing everything he needs to do. And that's a dangerous thing with Tony Paul, because he can play good too. It's a forehand out though from Paul, 40-30. But Alcaraz should be winning. For me, it doesn't. For others, it will. I'm sure. Yeah, I agree. I'm still gonna wait till Cincinnati. But if Alcaraz doesn't really bring it in Cincinnati, then I'll start rethinking. But a big reason that it doesn't play a big effect for me is because he didn't do well at Canada or Cincinnati last year. He literally lost first round of Canada last year, and then he won the U.S. Open with very small margins too. By the way, I mean, like, I don't know. Like it's just impossible to predict. He really, by all means, shouldn't have won the U.S. Open last year with all the tight matches he had, the losses he had going in, but he pulled it out anyway. So I'm not going to think that this tournament is going to be like, okay, well, he's not winning U.S. Open now. He still absolutely could. But it's 1-0 here for Paul. Okay, negative losing head-to-heads here for Alcaraz. I got it here. Shout out ultimatetennisstatistics.com. By the way, my favorite tennis site for stats and other stuff. But okay, here we go. So so one of these is deeply misleading. Zverev has a 3-2 head-to-head against Alcaraz, but the two times that they played 2022 or after, Alcaraz destroyed Zverev. So that's kind of misleading. FAA against Alcaraz is 3-1. So that's something as well. Nadal is 2-1. I think both of those were 2021, I think. Or no, Indian Wells last year. But yeah, 3-1, 2-1 for Nadal. And then other ones, Mikael Ymer beat him twice. And then Lorenzo Sonego, Hugo Gaston, Thiago Monteiro, Fabian Marajan, and Alexander Erler, whoever that is. Those are the guys who've beaten him once. But that's 9 players that have a winning head-to-head over Carlos. Tommy Paul trying to get on that list too, make it 10. Tommy Paul trying to make it a round number, make it 10 players that Alcaraz has a losing head-to-head against him. Tommy Paul would be 2-1. Serve for Carlos. Kick serve, backhand of Paul into the backhand of Carlos, backhand of Paul to the backhand of Carlos, forehand Paul, forehand of Carlos, cross, forehand of Paul, and forehand of Carlos, backhand of Paul to the forehand of Carlos, into the backhand slice of Paul into the forehand of Carlos. It's right on the baseline. From big forehand inside out, Paul defends it, still gets it. That's a strong drop volley, though. I mean, what I love about this rivalry is that usually when one player hits an amazing shot, it's coming right back with a shot that's even more amazing. They really push each other to a high level with some dynamic rallies. Almost every point these guys play is different. That's what makes it fun. That's what's fun about tennis anyway. Yeah, people said the same thing about Djokovic and RG. Exactly. So, I mean, people have recency bias. People have this. People have that. By the way, people don't really have recency bias. People are going to forget Alcaraz just won Wimbledon, but that's the whole point. Alcaraz just won Wimbledon. He's 40-4 on the season. Eventually, he's going to lose some matches. He didn't even do well in Canada last year. He's reached quarters this year. If he doesn't win this tournament, or if he loses here to Paul, who I think is a great player too, then it's not going to change that much for me. Supposed to the U.S. Open. Collins breaks, takes 6-4, third set. Wow, Faison, thanks for the update. I wasn't following that. 6-4 for Collins, third set. I'll keep you updated a little bit on the score. Faison's got the stream there too for Collins. That's crazy. Good for Collins though. Wild. A lot of seats going out in Canada before the semifinals. 30-15 for Carlos. Serve. Serve into the back end of Paul. That's a huge return. It's a huge return down that line. It's 30-all. 30-all. A little bit of a pressure moment. A little bit of a pressure moment for Carlitos. Yeah, like I said, 9 guys have a winning head-to-head against Carlos. I think about 5 or 6 of them have only played him once. 5 of them have only played him once. Mikael Ymer's played him twice, but Tommy Paul would play him 3 times and have a winning head-to-head. That's rarely happened so far. 40-30. Every match in Montreal today has gone 3 sets. Is that right? Yeah, that is, because Pagul Goff had an epic too. Yeah, that's wild. That is wild. Serve down the line, goes wide. Second serve here. Alcaraz doesn't want to get involved in a tight service game to start the second set. That is not what Carlos needs. Second serve, kicked out wide. Does it catch the line? It just barely does. One game all here. One game all here. Let's see if Carlos can bring this right back. Carlos can play way better than this. Let's see if Carlos can bring it right back. Keep up the winning ways. He's going for his 50th win of the season, which is remarkable. We're only at the start of August. He's 20 years old. He's going for his 50th win of the season. That's mind-boggling. And if he keeps going with the win percentage he's found this season so far, then it's an all-time great season. All-time good. Serve down the line is out. Second serve coming here for Paul. Let's see if Alcaraz can bring it right back with this game. It's a backhand. It's a backhand of Paul. That goes out. Love 15. Love 15. Yeah, Anthony here on call for Quality Shot Tennis. Hope you guys are enjoying it. If you are, don't forget to drop a like as well and sub if you haven't already. Love 15 here. Weird set. Collins played good, but Iga's level was weird. Interesting. Yeah, I wasn't watching it. So forehand return well wide from Carlos, 15-all. The GOAT, Alcaraz going to win. Okay. I like the energy, Ruben. Let's see if he can. Already 1 a.m. here, Matt. On my third coffee. Yeah, Osaka Net, you're anybody staying up late wherever you are, and if it's late where you are, then you're a legend for it. I was doing 4 a.m. on stream the other day for my call in Los Cabos. Tsitsipas Jari went to 4 a.m. here. So anybody staying up late for tennis, I respect it. Looks like I'm going to need to make coffee for tonight. That Rybakina match is going to be very late. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I want to watch some of that Rybakina match too. Be cool to see her doing well coming into the U.S. Open as well. 6 a.m. here in Pakistan. Oh, that's crazy. You're the go in the chat side. Side. You're the go. That's crazy. 30-15 here for Paul. Kick serve, backhand of Carlos, backhand of Paul. That goes out. That goes long, right on that baseline. We're at 30-all. We're at 30-all here. Hey, what's up? We got Edmo lady. What's up? Join in. We're at 30-all here. 1-all in the second set. After this, we got Cinnamon Feast too. I'm gonna be here for a couple streams. I'm excited. North American swing. I'm gonna be calling a lot of matches, so I'm excited. I'm excited for tonight. Should be fun. Both of them win. Sinner Alcaraz happens. Forehand cross. Forehand of Carlos. Forehand of Paul. Inside out. Backhand slice. It's in the ground. Carlos just not really playing his game. 40-30. Paul just got to keep level and keep doing what he needs to do. 3 a.m. I'm so energetic. That's wild. Shout out Edmo lady. Vamos, Tommy. I love you. Nice. I'm a big fan of Paul too. I'm a big fan of both these players. I mean, both Carlos and Paul to me are like top 10 favorites. I like both, so I'm just excited to watch it. This is one of my favorite head-to-heads, to be honest. Especially this one, confirming that Paul is can be a tough matchup for Carlos. But anybody who plays as aggressive as Paul and can really push Carlos behind the baseline, make him uncomfortable, dictate, those are players that can be tough for Carlos. Really beat him at his own game. That's how you beat Carlos. It's a backhand cross and the backhand Carlos cross, backhand of Paul, forehand of Carlos. That's down the middle. Forehand shot goes long from Paul. Deuce. Okay, a little bit of something. It's only the first set. Expect Carlos to respond. Yeah, I would think so. We'll see what happens. I don't want to stay up too late. LOL, want to wake up early for World Cup matches. That's awesome too. Yeah, World Cup. I'll try to catch some of that too. We're at deuce here. 1 game all deuce. A little bit of something interesting start out this second set. Serve out wide, forehand of Carlos. That goes long. Advantage to Paul. It's advantage to Paul. Now, who we got in here? We got Matt Hill. We got Edmo Lady staying up at 3 a.m. We got Osaka Net also at 1 a.m. We got a lot of people in here staying up late. I appreciate all y'all. Side at 6. That's crazy. We got Ruben as well. Got Faison lurking around. He's got a stream as well, covering Collins versus Shriontek. Got Peaches as well. Shout out everybody on the stream. Shout out everybody joining the chat as well. Always fun when people are in the chat. We're at 2-1. If you got a question for me or anything you want to talk about, feel free to jump in chat at any point if I'm doing a stream. When's Raducanu coming back? I wonder. My bet. I still think it's going to be a few months, or at least like a month or so. I'm not expecting much earlier than that. It should be interesting. She was training with her coach, so I'm expecting her to be back, and I'm excited for it. I hope. It's so stupid, this like crazy hate coming Raducanu's way. Like, yeah, obviously, probably a little bit too much hype was put on her for her detriment at the start, but also the hate on like social media is crazy. Like, can we just appreciate it was crazy that Raducanu won a major at 18 years old the way she did, and just leave it there? Or is that's probably too much to ask for? It's 2-1 here for 2-1 here for Paul. Osaka, I'm covering on NFL game for my blog tomorrow. Don't want to oversleep. Nice. Yeah, Matt doing great stuff covering the channel. Matt, by the way, if anybody know Matt Hill in the chat, he works for QualityShot Tennis. He works on our Twitter. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. Matt blogs up and covers the matches. By playing Stay Up for Ravachna, she gave me a like on Facebook. Nice. That's always enough. It's always enough. I got a like from Delpo on a comment on Instagram, and I was happy for the next 3 months. So it's 2-1 here for Paul. 2-1 here for Paul. We're 56 minutes into this contest. The American taking on the Spaniard. Like I said, they are 1-1 in their head-to-head. Winner of this one gets into the semis in Toronto. Plays the winner of Yannick Sinner taking on Gael Monfils, which is later tonight. Come on, world number one. Let's see what Carlos can do. Who gave you a like, Rabakina? That's goated. Matt, you got to tell Rabakina about QualityShot Tennis. What are you doing? You got to let her know about the QualityShot Tennis thing. You got Rabakina involved. It was a post on mental health. Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's always important to talk about, for real. It's a serve down the line, backhand from Carlos. Goes long. They got noticed by Ravakta OMG. Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild. Left 15. That's in my biggest dreams. I think. Left 15. Left 15. We're almost an hour into this match. Serve into the Paul forehand of Carlos, into the forehand of Paul. Down the line, Carlos there on the slide. It goes back on his side, though. Left 30. Left 30. Kind of warning signs for Alcaraz here in a big way. Very nice, Matt. Your personal Facebook account. Yes, that's quite interesting. It's interesting. What's wrong with Alcaraz? Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to say. He's not making a lot of first serves. He's making a lot of weird errors. He's just not playing his game. Feels like he doesn't really have the rhythm or momentum up. Like we know. Wow, what a Carlos just saying, listen, I don't even care anymore. Carlos just stepped up into the middle of the court, no man's land, and just slammed a forehand swinging volley. He was going to win this point anyway. Just slams a swinging volley right down the middle of the court. Paul puts up his racket. He can't do anything about it. 165 kilometers an hour winner speed, whatever that translates into. Yeah, 15-30 here, Carlos serving. Serve out wide. Paul back in return, back in his side. Matt, very nice. Yeah. But yeah, Alcaraz's game, I mean, we know it asks for a lot. The amazing thing about Alcaraz is that despite his crazy physical game and everything that his game needs from him, he's able to perform on such consistent level. It just, that momentum, that rhythm hasn't been there in Toronto yet, and it's really caused a lot of errors. Now their first serve out, too, isn't helping. We're at 30 all. 30 all here for Carlos serving. Trying to stay with Paul here. Forehand into the forehand of Carlos. That's in the net. A break point for Paul, and the crowd falls silent because this is surprising. I told you guys about 20 minutes ago, there's something that Tommy Paul is trying to do against Carlos that has only been done once since 2 years ago, exactly 2 years ago in Winston-Salem. Something that's only been done against Carlos once. That's something that Paul is trying to do. I'll let you know what that is after this point. It's a break point. Serve out wide. Paul there at the back and return. Drop shot. Paul gets there. Lob. Backhand smash down the middle. Perfect shot from Alcaraz. Deuce. It's a backhand smash, but it was high percentage, at least when Carlos is on the court. Hey, what's up? We got Max in the chat. What's up? Yeah, Anthony here for QualityShot. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Drop a like. Don't forget to sub too. So what's up? I came to the live stream now, and I'm surprised of what's going on with the score. Yeah, people are going to start tuning in. They're like, what's going on over there? Collins and Swiatek having an interesting match as well. But yeah, crazy. Big shot from Carlos cross court, and it's advantage. It's advantage cross court, that deuce side. But okay, so what is Paul trying to do that hasn't happened to Carlos? So, well, first, yeah, everybody, and become a member too. Link to become a member. It's super easy. Get some cool perks, and it's just awesome. Join in. Oh, huge forehand. Carlos just unleashes in that game. We're at 2-2. Okay, so the thing that Paul is trying to do against Carlos, he's trying to beat him in straight sets. Only one person has beat Carlos in straight sets outside of indoor hard courts like Paris, like all of these things. Nobody has straight setted Carlos on clay, grass, or outdoor hard courts since Mikhail Emer in Winston-Salem 2 years ago. Or I shouldn't say no one has, but only one player has. Mirazon in Rome is the only player to have done that. So this would only be the second time since in the last 2 years that Carlos has been straight-setted outside of his worst surface, indoor hard courts, his worst surface so far. Outside of indoors, he's only been straight-setted one time. Paul's trying to make that 2. And he's rarely ever straight-setted. That was his against Mirazon in Rome. That was his only straight sets loss all year. That was the only time Carlos didn't win a set. But yeah, 2 games all, 15 love here for Tommy. Yeah, let's see what Alcaraz can do. Let's see what Carlitos can do. 2 games all here. Serve from Paul. And you just see the sky darken. I mean, you can tell on the court, the sky's darkening. We're getting to the late night sessions, getting fun. Hurkacz Carlos played a very entertaining match yesterday. We're getting an entertaining one here. Slice into the net from Paul. Kind of a low percentage straight shot, 15 all. Paul's got to stay steady. Paul's just done exactly what he needs to do. He's let the errors come from Carlos. He's let the errors fly. It's 15 all here for Tommy. Serve. Forehand. Chip return. It goes in right into the deuce side corner. Alcaraz absolutely unloads on a forehand. They shouldn't have gone for that much. I don't know if that's frustration or what. Carlos is absolutely unloaded on some shots in the last couple of games. It worked for him to get out of the last game, but that shot into the net probably was like 110 miles per hour, but he had a winner there, and he just went for too much. It's a kick serve, backhand from Paul, cross on the backhand of Carlos. It's in the net again, 40-15. This is really not a good match from Carlitos so far. That's an impressive stat about Carlos. Hope he continues it here and takes it to a third. Yeah, third set would be fun. I hope so too. It's a serve down the line, 3-2. You know, I got mixed feelings about this match. I'm a huge Carlos fan. I'd love to see him win, but just purely talking from the fact that I am so high on Jannik Sinner and I do like him a lot. So I'm just saying I'm torn between wanting a Sinner Alcaraz match in the next round or if I want Sinner to have an easier draw in the next rounds. Because the only thing in tennis right now that I enjoy more than watching Sinner is Sinner Alcaraz. The only thing I enjoy more in tennis right now than watching Sinner is Sinner Alcaraz. Those matches are always crazy. I always enjoy watching Carlos by himself too. Let's see if Carlos can bring it back. This is rigged. First Zverev losing to a low tier member, and now Carlos wants to go at the same path. Path doesn't make sense. Tennis can be weird. Tennis can be a bit up and down. Tennis can be weird, but it's a momentum rhythm game. I mean, it's weird. I mean, but listen, Zverev lost to Davidovich Fokina. Davidovich Fokina made the final of Monte Carlo a few years ago. I mean, weird losses can happen, but that's tennis. That's tennis. You got to get used to it. That's an impressive stat about Carlos. Yeah. So another thing about Carlos won a set in every match that he played until October last year. Last year he didn't lose in straight sets up until October October last year. He rarely ever loses sets. Rarely ever loses in straight sets. He almost always at least fights and wins a set. So we'll see if he can do the same here. I mean, similar thing happened against Tommy Paul in Canada last year, happened against Cameron Norrie the tournament after that. He rarely ever loses in straight sets. Against Jannik Sinner at Wimbledon, pulled out a tight tiebreaker in the third set. I mean, he rarely loses in straight sets. But yeah, we got Paul here up 6-3, 3-2. Let's see if Carlitos can break it back. His first serve percentage has gotten better and better. Let's see if he can keep that up and start being more aggressive and actually having the shots go in. Serve down the line, back into Paul. Back end of Carlos is too good. Down the line. Hey, what's up, Ashley? Good to have you. Good to have you. Hey, Ashley, congrats. Ashley looking, yeah, that's it. Hey, Ashley with the membership. Nice. Thanks, Faison, for the membership. That's great. That's great. 15 love. Shout out to all the members. Shout out all the members in the chat. Y'all are OGs. So serve down the line is out from Carlos. Second serve here. Second serve, 15 love. Kick serve, back into Paul. Forehand Carlos. Cross. Paul somehow gets there. Lob way up high. It's in the net. I think it was going to land in, though, but it's in the net. 30 love. 30 love here. Alcaraz, yeah, Fawaz. Alcaraz can't do it. Let's see if he can pick it up. He's making a lot of weird errors. He's really rushing himself. And Alcaraz doesn't look particularly happy out there. Listen, Alcaraz needs to he needs to be happy out there playing his game, playing crazy shots. That's when Alcaraz is playing his best. That hasn't happened so far. That was all but the story in Miami when they played earlier this year. Who's your prediction to win the match between Rybakina or Kasatkina? I got Rybakina. I think Rybakina is strong, but Kasatkina, don't count her out either because Kasatkina is tough. I got Rybakina in straight sets. 2 tight sets. I got Rybakina. It should be interesting, though. I think that's a good match. I want to catch some of that. 40 love. Serve and volley. Carlos there, the half volley. Backhand. Lob over Carlos. Carlos there between the legs. What a shot down the line from Carlos. Between the legs winner, and you just know that's going to be tennis TV shot of the month. You love to see it. Roger Federer-esque. It is the 20-year-old with the tweener winner down the line. That's not an easy between the legs. Everybody's hitting the between the leg shots. Everybody's hitting the tweeners. But that one was tough, way behind the baseline. Amazing footwork and foot speed getting up to it. And the pace with which it fast fall. What a shot from Carlos. Oh, that replay too. Carlos owns the highlight reels. What a shot from Carlos Alcaraz. One of the shots of the year, probably. One of the shots of the year, we just witnessed it from Carlos. And will that pick Carlos back up? Carlos loves a big match, and he loves a crowd. Will that pick Carlos back up? That was a Federer-esque tweener. Down the line, passed against Tommy Paul. What a shot from Carlos. That's a shot making you get from Paul Carlos matches. Are you kidding me? Love that. It's a backhand slice into the forehand of Carlos. Forehand of Paul goes out. Round love 15. Listen, a match can turn just like that. Tweener winner down the line. Perfect shot. What a shot from Carlos. Jesus. Great shot there. I like both these players. Yeah, me too. I'm sorry. Collins. Is Collins down? Yeah, Sriante got a break. Sriante got a break in that one. Oh my God, Carlos. That was mind-boggling stuff. Let's hope we see more shots like that. I doubt we will like that, but we're going to see some good ones. As the match keeps going. Deep into the night in Montreal, Egan Collins in the third. That's it. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I am. That was a crazy shot. It's a backhand wide. It's love 30. Alcaraz with the crazy shots. I've been messing up so much with my posts lately. No, you're good, Matt. Don't even talk. Don't even say you're good. It's 33%, by the way, in this I can't talk. in the second set, Paul's only made 33% of his first serves. I can't speak. He's only made 33% of his first serves. There's a first serve though, out wide. Forehand goes wide from Paul. Listen, Paul might not win another point. Paul was like, what was that shot that Carlos hit with it between the legs? The Roger would be proud. You and me both know it. Listen, between the legs were around before Roger, but Roger, he's the guy that popularized the tweener. Everybody wanted to try it once he did it. He's the between the leg shot dude, and he always will be. It's love 40. He had about 500 in his career. Love 40, and they were always amazing. But it's Alcaraz here at love 40 of 3 break points. Forehand from Paul into the forehand of Carlos to the backhand of Paul into the backhand of Carlos. And backhand of Paul down the middle, backhand slice. Paul forehand, it's shanked. All right, we got to keep a stat here. Alcaraz is 4-0 since the shot of the year. Alcaraz is 4-0 in points since that shot of the year. That's going to turn the match on its head. It's 4-3. Listen, if Alcaraz does end up winning Toronto, you got to remember that shot because that has really picked Alcaraz back up. Kind of like the amazing shot that Carlos hit against Djokovic and Roland Garros. Djokovic hit really the shot of the year. That shot against, I think they're replaying it now, by the way. Yeah, slice, they're showing it again. It's always easier to do it on a slice because it kind of stays low a bit, but that was incredible. Carlos really had a lot of quick steps. I'm looking at the tweener again. That was a great volley initially off a serve and volley. Paul slices for a good lob. I love the slice lob, but slice for a lob, high percentage play, but it goes deep. Alcaraz with a lot of quick steps to get there quickly. You want to be there in position quick for a tweener, and just a perfect shot down the line, deep in the court too. A lot of skill. They're showing the replay here. Between the legs, and Carlos there with a perfect shot down the line. I forgot what I was talking about, but it's okay. But yeah, Alcaraz here at 4-3. Alcaraz is coming back. That's it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Roland Garros against Djokovic. Alcaraz hit one of the most amazing shots I've ever seen. I'm a hot shot like specialist. Since I've been watching tennis, my favorite thing in tennis is amazing shots, amazing points. That's my favorite thing about tennis. It has been from the start. I've watched about every single amazing tennis shot throughout history on YouTube. And that shot that Alcaraz hit against Djokovic at the French Open might be the best shot of all time. It's one of those that's in the running. There are some other ones you can name too. Tipsarevic against Hewitt at Davis Cup is an amazing one. Federer overhead off and overhead against Roddick. Alcaraz has hit a few already. There are some amazing ones throughout history, but I feel like that one is the shot of the year for me. And I don't know if anything's going to come close. But this one was one of the shots of the year. There's no doubt. That's why they're called Federer shots. Yeah. Fed the king. Alcaraz drop shot equals face on special. That's it. Yeah. Alcaraz's drop shot is crazy. 15 love. I love that he's just incorporated that into, oh yes, I remember the phase on special. 15 love here. Hour and 14 minutes in. What a shot from Carlos. Okay. 5-0, by the way, since that shot. We're keeping a stat here. Serve down the lines and ace. We're 6-0. 6-0 since the tweener. When is Paul going to win his first point? Or is Alcaraz going to win the last 6 points of the set, then win a golden set in the third set? Let's see. Alcaraz has won the last 10 points. Forget what I said. I forgot because Carlos held out love. Alcaraz has won the last 10 points. I didn't even realize that. Carlos on a 10-point winning streak. And 6 points since that tweener. Shot from Paul on the baseline. Oh, that goes out from Carlos. Paul gets his first point. Gets his first point since that crazy tweener. That's Paul. It's 30-15. The one against Joko was a perfect shot on a full sprint that slide. I got so much to say about that shot, Sean. I watched that shot live. Not live in person, but live on TV. And I was more mind blown by a shot than any other I've seen live. I got stuff to say. But after this point, though. 30-15. 30-15 here. Kick serve. It hits the tape, goes long. Listen, Alcaraz wants to be careful, though. 30-all. 30-all. Let's see what Paul can do. This is the moment where Paul has to feel like, okay, I got to take advantage. If I'm going to get the break back, it's got to be right here when Alcaraz feels like, I don't know. This has got to be the moment. I can't wait. Can't wait for 5-4. It's the fifth double fault for Alcaraz, by the way. Too many. Especially throughout that first set. That was his first in this set. 4 in the first set. Forehand cross and forehand cross court of Alcaraz. That's a great shot. Great defense for Paul to get there. That's the point, yeah. That's it, Paul. Paul finally got a point. Paul with the Alcaraz with the game point to get to 5-3. By the way, second set, Paul's level has really dropped. 10 winners for Alcaraz, 2 for Paul. In the first set, it was way more than that for Paul, too. It was 8 winners for Paul. Now it's only 2. Backhand cross to the backhand of Paul to the backhand of Carlos. Forehand Paul inside out to the backhand of Carlos. Forehand of Paul into the backhand of Carlos. Forehand Paul. Again to that backhand of Carlos. Puts up for a lob. A switch up. Forehand inside out. Back to that backhand down the line, but goes long. Deuce. Deuce here. Deuce here. Still can't get over that tweener. The first one I've actually seen live. Is it really? That's cool, Osaka-net. Yeah. It's always crazy. It's always crazy to see amazing shots like that. I've been lucky. I've seen a lot of the amazing shots this year live like that, but it's so cool. I remember Alcaraz's tweener last year against Tsitsipas in Miami. That was crazy too. Tsitsipas got it back somehow, but anyway, we're at 4-3 here, deuce. Interesting moment in this match, but the Paul return is weak into the net. Tommy break back. Yeah, 8 mil lady. See if he can do it. See if he can do it. That's an amazing winner anyway. Yeah, it is. Totally. Yeah, it's one of the shots of the year, I think. At least the shot of the month. I don't think it's the shot of the year. I've seen some amazing shots this year. Even Alcaraz, there's a forehand pass that Alcaraz hit against Jari in Rio, I think, which was just one of the shots of the year too. Even the shot against Djokovic we were talking about. Center Alcaraz rally in Miami. There have been some amazing points this year, but it's one of them. Forehand return. Inside in from Paul. We're at deuce. We're at deuce. We are at deuce. Matt Hill, really, normally we are ahead. LOL. Yeah, I was quite proud. I was happy with the stream because I like sometimes it is behind, but I feel like we're on time. Hopefully that's the case. We're at deuce. Yeah, we're usually there with the score. Chat should win. No Alcaraz. Yeah. Mandarino shot Unico. That was a good one, too. That was another tweener. Backhand into the backhand of Carlos. Forehand Paul. Side into the forehand of Carlos. Forehand Paul. Just misses that baseline. He was in that rally. It's advantage to Carlos. Yeah, that Mandarino shot, that was like equal, like in both equal ways, best shot of 2022 and best shot of 2023. It was like hit at 1 a.m. on the 1st of January or something crazy like that. So it was like the best shot of both years. But yeah, it was like a jumping tweener. It was crazy. Hurkacz tweener earlier this year too, by the way, was amazing. I don't remember what tournament, but he had a good passing shot too. You all are fine. Tennis Channel show the scores. The Collins match was 4 minutes wrong on TC Plus. Oh, okay, got you, Matt. Got you. Yeah, advantage here for Carlos. Kick serve, backhand of Paul, backhand of Carlos. That goes out. Paul fist bumps, shakes his racket. We're at deuce. We're at deuce. It's a tight moment, and it's a big moment here. I appreciate all y'all joining in. Like if you're enjoying the video. Let's try to get 25 likes by the end of the stream if we can. That'd be cool. But main thing, I hope y'all are enjoying it. It's a fun night here in Toronto. I'm enjoying commentating. Let's just have a good time here. It's deuce here. Alcaraz serving. And don't forget to sub to Quality Shot Tennis. We got the matches for you. If you're enjoying it, don't forget to sub as well. Backhand from Paul across on the backhand of Carlos. Backhand of Paul into the backhand of Carlos. Forehand Paul across. The forehand of Carlos cross. That goes long. It's a break point for Paul for the first time in this game. Break point for Tommy for the first time in this game. Thanks both Anthony and Faison for the nice coverage. I'm going to go sleep now. Sayonara. Yeah, sayonara. See you later, Osaka-net. I appreciate you joining in, though. That's crazy. It's like 1:30 a.m. or something. So shout out Osaka-net staying up. That's a legend. Advantage here for Paul. We got a big moment. We got a big moment. Serve out wide is just out. Just misses that corner. Second serve here for Carlos. What can he do? Backhand into the backhand of Carlos down the middle into the forehand of Carlos. Cross of forehand of Carlos down the middle. Forehand from Carlos. Really strong shot. Really strong shot there from Carlos. Goes behind Paul. Inside in with the forehand. Really strong stuff from Carlos because that was an ambitious shot. But he knew Paul's shot just had a little bit too much height on it. And that's what Paul's shots can have. Paul has kind of weird form on his shots. Especially on the backhand. Sometimes the shots look a little bit weird. He can kind of mishit them. Kind of have too much height on the shots. It's been better than ever. Really effective this year. But that one had too much height on it. Come on, Tommy. Break this for us. see what happens. Let's see what happens. No. See if Paul can do it. Who you rooting for, man? Be honest. I'm a Sinner fan, so that should tell you already. It's a forehand from Paul into the backhand of Carlos. Forehand from Paul into the backhand of Carlos. That goes out. Paul trying to break here. Paul trying to break here. He's at advantage. He's at advantage. Paul gets another chance, though, and Paul does get another chance. But listen, I genuinely, I like both of these guys, but that's the real answer. It's advantage here for Paul. Let's see if he can do it. Carlos is going to want to pick up here and really show a great shot-making. I don't know. He's just looking not his happy self out there, missing a lot of weird shots. It's not Carlos how we know him. Backhand into the net. Alcaraz, please win Fawaz. Yeah, let's see if Carlos can do it. Let's see if Carlos can do it. He's been amazing all year. He's been amazing all year. Like I said, he's trying to win his 50th match of the season. And he has the best single-season win percentage of a player under 21 in history. That's better than Nadal. So, yeah, but it's deuce here. 4-3 deuce. 4-3 deuce. Let's see what Carlos can do. That's a good serve from Carlos. We're at advantage. It's a good serve from Carlos. We're at advantage. Carlos trying to say, not today. Not today. If you want to see that Sinner Alcaraz semifinal, you're rooting for Carlos. Obviously. We're at advantage here. That's something else on the line. Always good to see them play. But this is a good matchup too. Backhand. Forehand from Paul. He stumbles. It's a forehand from Carlos. Inside A, he misses the line. Carlos, the clutchness isn't there like we're used to him. It's not there like we're used to seeing from Carlos. It's not there like we're used to seeing from Carlos. By the way, in Miami earlier this year, I mentioned earlier, Paul only made 62% of first serves in. He won 46% of points. Carlos just played absolutely crazy in Miami. I really think Miami might end up being Carlos's best tournament, or at least one of them. He seems to really step it up in Miami on the kind of Miami's a little bit slower than some of the other tournaments, but it's faster than Indian Wells. It's really perfectly suits him. He always plays crazy in Miami. So, but anyway, he was hitting winners from everywhere. Paul wasn't able to dictate whatsoever, which Paul really needs to do. And he only made 62% of first serves in, and he was barely winning second serve points. I'll tell you what it is today so far. Very key stat for Tommy. It's a break point here for Tommy. See what he can do. Serve. Forehand of Tommy, shake back. We're on what, 6? Deuce number 6? Deuce number 7? Like deuce number 7. Deuce number 7. Come on, Tommy. Come on, Tommy. Let's see what we can do. Alcaraz the GOAT. Alcaraz the GOAT. Yeah, let's see what Alcaraz can do. I mean, like I say, he's playing an all-time level season. Paul is trying to challenge that, like Hurkacz did too. Fake drop shot, but Paul's there with the forehand. Massive forehand swing down the line. It's advantage to Carlos. Massive swing down the line. It's advantage to Carlos. See what Carlos can do. By the way, Swiatek's serving for the match against Collins. That's happening over in Montreal. Yeah, advantage here for Carlos to win, to keep the lead in this second set. This is a massive game. Listen, if Paul loses this game, it's hard for me to think that he's win this set. I think we go 3 sets if Paul can't break here. It's forehand of Paul. It's in the net. 5-3. 5-3 for Carlos. 5-3 for Carlos. Big Hispanic fan support there as well, like a home tournament. Yeah, it's true. That's true. Yeah, good to see. Good to see for Carlos. Who you think is GOAT of tennis? Djokovic. I think Djokovic is the best of all time. It's really hard to speak about all time, though. But yeah, I mean, if we're going super far back, Djokovic is the best of all time. I do like Djokovic as well. I have since I started tennis. I've only liked him more over the years. But but Federer is my favorite by far. But I think Djokovic is the GOAT. Anthony want me to punch him. I swear, why? What did I do? What did I do? It's Alcaraz here at 5-3. Yeah, you're rooting for Paul. It's Alcaraz with the forehand of Paul. It's all good. Whoever you're rooting for, it's all good. The backhand to the backhand of Carlos, slice. That goes out. I am the best tennis player ever. Animo lady, all your comments are such 3 a.m. comments. Like you said, it's 3 a.m. I feel it. It's a vibe though. 15 love here. Late night in Toronto. 15 love here. Let's see what Alcaraz can do. Let's see if Alcaraz can finish off the set too. Backhand to the forehand of Paul. Inside out, backhand Paul cross into the backhand of Carlos. Deep in the court, right? Carlos is hitting the corners now. Drop shot. Paul somehow gets under it, but it's right into the top of the net. I do think Rod Laver deserves consideration. Yeah, for sure. I was gonna mention him. He was on the tip of my tongue. Do you know Laver and Federer have the same birthday? Yeah. That's who it was too. I was trying to remember on August 8th. I was like, it's Federer's birthday. It's Ojay Aliassim's birthday. I forgot that. I knew there was somebody else. It's Rod Laver's birthday too. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And Sampras was born on the 9th, I think. Like that's got to be the best time to be born. And it's a good sign for FAA, by the way, who is really on a bad losing streak at the moment. Yeah, but yeah, I think Rod Laver deserves consideration. I mean, people just say Rod Laver to speak for like 100 years of tennis, but there were more players than that to name as well. Rod Laver, Ken Rosewall, Pancho Gonzalez, Anthony Wilding. Those are players from back in the day that people don't even know who I'm talking about, but like those are players who were amazing players back in the day. So all those players deserve consideration too. Those players had some crazy dominant stats too. If we forget about history, people will forget about this one day too. Players we watched today. So we got to keep up with that too. So yeah, but I think players like Laver and Rosewall deserve consideration. But yeah, all said and done, I think Djokovic just has the highest peak of tennis I've seen consistently. And the dominant stats he's been able to put up on the board in a really tough era for about like 13 years, going into his mid-30s. It's very hard to argue against him. It's 30 all here. Rocket Rod, that's it. But yeah, Laver's the GOAT. Let's just say Laver's the GOAT. Why not? For this stream, Laver's the GOAT. To serve into the net. He did win 2 calendar year Grand Slams. That's something nobody else has ever done. Second serve here for Paul. To the backhand of Carlos, backhand of Paul, down the middle, backhand Carlos, inside out, that's a winner. It's a set point for Carlos. And Paul is going to be disappointed that he lost that 7-deuce game. Listen, it was kind of that between the leg shot that was just miraculous and amazing. That Carlos hit, which really kind of turned this on its head. And, yeah. Read the greatest matches of all time, but goes back to 1920s. I gotta pick that one up. I own a book. I got this a few months ago. My brother gifted it. It's an ace out wide, by the way, from Paul to save the break point. We're at deuce. Gotta have the eyes on the match. It's at deuce here. But yeah, I have a book that covers every single Wimbledon in history, and the newspaper's written about it from 1876, whatever, to 2022. So that's very cool too. All those books are really cool to read. There's a lot of great tennis books out there. Alcaraz on the full slide gets returned back forehand into that outside. That's a great slice, but just into the net from Carlos. Advantage to Paul. Saves a break point. Alcaraz giving out hope to these guys. It's cruel. Alcaraz giving out hope to these guys. It's cool. Yeah. Alcaraz seems to find a way, but I don't know. I got a feeling about this match that Paul's just not going to let down super easy. And it might be because Tommy Paul beat Alcaraz in Canada last year. It was in Montreal. But Paul will remember that well, and so will Carlos. We're at advantage here. Carlos is about to try to serve for this at 5-4. Kick serve, backhand return, backhand slice from Paul down the middle. Forehand from Carlos into the net, 5-4. We're at 5-4. 3-6, 5-4. Alcaraz about to serve for the second set. Who we got in the chat? Shout out Sean. Thanks for joining in. We got Matt. We got Ashley. We got Idmo Lady, the best player of all time, the GOAT. We got Said as well. Who else we got? We got Fawaz, rune for Carlos. We got Idmo Lady, big rune for Paul. We got, who else we got? We got Faison lurking around. Did Collins Swiatek still serving it out over on that stream? Or over on that match. Faison's covering it. We got a good one in here, though. We had Osaka Net in here earlier. Ashley, Maxen. Thank you all for joining in. Sean saying Carlos needs to make them feel hopeless. Hey, it's got to be a little bit nicer. So it's like that meme. Don't give me hope. Don't give me hope. Just rip it away. The endgame meme. It's 5-4 here. It's 5-4 here. I was going to mention Tommy Paul's service stats. It's been a bit better in this match so far. I'll tell you what it's been exactly. Well, it's not a whole lot better, but 54% second serve points won against Carlos, who's always amazing on second serve return, on first serve return as well. 64% first serve points won. Much better than he did against Carlos in Miami, where I think he had like 54%. So Paul's serving a little bit better, still could be better, but it's hard to do it against Alcaraz, who's just such an elite level returner. All right, guys. This is the moment of truth for both, but you got to expect Alcaraz is going to like his chances of serving this out. Collins has a terrible attitude. Yeah, she can get a bit feisty on the court, but she's a great player. But yeah, her attitude isn't always amazing. It's 5-4 here for Carlos. 5-4 here for Carlos. Told Sakari to shut up a couple times the other day. She just does her own thing, but yeah, it's not always great. It's 5-4 here for Carlos. Serve down the line, back in return, goes just long, missed the baseline. We're at 15 love for Carlos. 15 love for Carlos. Carlos trying to serve this out. He's 3 points away. He is 3 points away. Swiatek does win the match against Danielle Collins, who gets to finish it off. Backhand slice into the net. 30 love for Carlos trying to serve this out. 30 love. Collins is Christina in terms of attitude. Yeah, a bit like that, yeah. Kind of like Ostapenko, Georgie type. I'm a big Ostapenko fan. She's one of my favorite players forever, Queen Penko, but yeah, Collins is an amazing player, but her attitude can be a bit questionable. It's 40 love here. 40 love here. 40 love. 5-4, 40 love. Carlos trying to push us 3 sets. We got a late night in Toronto. By the way, don't forget, after this match, we got Sinner taking on Monfils too. Be there for that one. Hope you join us for that one. It's a serve into the net from Carlos. Second serve coming here. Second serve Carlos here trying to push this into a second set. Carlos trying to push this into a second set. Kick serve. Backhand for Paul on the return. Forehand from Carlos. Forehand of Paul. Backhand. Slice. Backhand of Paul. Sliced. Into the top of the net. Carlos still avoids straight sets like he did against Hubie, and he pushes this at least 3 sets. And like against Hubie, you have to feel like Carlos likes his chances of finding a way and finding his way out of here. At one point during that set, he won 10 points in a row, 10, 11 points in a row. And it started from that amazing between the leg shot he hit to go up 3-all in that set. Join us for the third set. We got a fun one here. We got a fun one here. Hello, Max. Yeah, Collins is Christina. I like that. Sean, you must remember the Christina era with her song Dirty. Go and join Anthony for Alcaraz versus Carreno Busta. Faison with a little bit of a error, but we got Alcaraz taking on Paul here, which is good too. I hope Carreno Busta comes back soon. But guys, enjoy this the rest of the stream and Sinner versus Monfils. I appreciate it. I appreciate Faison. I appreciate you, and you were crazy multitasking both streams. Colin Swiatek seemed like a good one too, even though it seems like Swiatek's level dropped a bit. But this one and Sinner Monfils, that's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Yeah, we got Alcaraz versus Paul. Yeah, that song was huge when I was at school. I don't remember that one, to be honest. I don't know that song. But anyway, thank you all for joining into the stream. We'll be here for the third set. Listen, we bring the hype, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Terry, vamos. Vamos. Alcaraz finding a way. Carlitos finding a way with his crazy shot making. See if he keeps it up. Let's see if he keeps it up. Where is Idemo lady? I think it's too late for her. I think she probably went to sleep. She says like 3. Idemo lady said it was like 3:30 where she's at. So, or like 3:45. Yeah, third set here. Like I said earlier, very few players have a winning head-to-head against Carlos. The players who have a winning head-to-head against Carlos: Alexander Zverev, which is very ironic, Felix Auger-Aliassime, Rafa Nadal, Mikael Ymer, Lorenzo Sonego, Hugo Gaston, Thiago Monteiro, Fabian Marajan, and Alexander Erler, whoever that is, Austrian player. But anyway, the last 5 players I've named, they only played Carlos once. They happened to win the one match that they played against Carlos. So that means only 4 players have a winning head-to-head against Carlos in matches when they've played Carlos at least twice. Only 4 players. FAA, Zverev, Nadal, and Mikael Ymer. Those are the only 4 players. Jannik Sinner does well against Carlos, but they're 3-3 in their head-to-head. If Alcaraz gets through this one, he plays Sinner in the next round. That could change. Sinner could be on the list. Or Carlos might win too. That should be a fun one, but yeah. And in terms of players that have played Carlos at least 3 times, it's only Nadal, FA, and Zverev. And I have a feeling this Zverev one is going to change soon. But it should be fun here. Should be fun. Should be fun. We got third set coming up. Let's hope we see shot making like we did with that tweener. Listen, these guys always bring amazing rallies out of each other. Let's hope for the best possible third set. That was a wild music video. Appreciate you all. Join the stream, join the chat. Alcaraz jumping up. He doesn't want to have any physical problems. You always want to move around when there's a bit of a break between sets. It's a bit of a toilet break here. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on it. But Carlos waiting. He's trying to move around. Listen, against Sinner in Miami, he didn't move. He wasn't moving between second and third set. Cramped up. Lost the third set 6-2. Alcaraz learns fast, and that's the best example. That's why he's where he is. He learns quick. But yeah, it's Anthony here for Quality Shot Tennis. I appreciate you guys joining in. Stick around. We got Sinner taking on Monfils after this one. We got the Spaniard Carlos Alcaraz taking on Tommy Paul, the American in this one. So thank you all for joining in. We got a hype one here in Toronto. Let's make this the most hype stream ever for Quality Shot. Let's have a good time. Must give Paul credit. He's playing well, but Carlos will bring it. Yeah. You got that feeling. Paul comes back, by the way. Paul comes back. Third set starting here. Let's have a fun third set. And Sinner versus Monfils on after this one, too. Hope you guys stick around for that one, too. Hopefully we don't have an Andy Murray situation, you know what I mean? In that match. I hope Monfils shows up. I hope we get a match in that one. And but yeah, anyway, for this one, we're having a good time. It's a fun stream. Tommy Paul serving start this third set against Carlos Alcaraz. He's jumping up. First point underway. Let's see what Tommy Paul can do if he can bounce back. So first serve out wide, forehand return from Carlos. Forehand to the backhand, way up high for a lob from Carlos. That's going to go in. Right in the center of the court. Big smash from Paul is too good. 15-love. Listen, I feel like Tommy Paul is going to regroup. And what's really going to help Tommy Paul here is his confidence boost from having beaten Alcaraz last year in Canada. And I'll be honest with you. I don't think Paul is going to be super discouraged from their match in Miami too. I mean, Alcaraz just played an absolutely obscene level in that match. One of the highest I've seen this year. But Paul played phenomenal in that match too, especially in that second set. So Paul knows that he can test out Alcaraz with his aggressive game. Paul needs to dictate. He needs to make first serves in. He needs to make sure Alcaraz isn't hitting crazy winners from everywhere. But it's 15-all here. Not letting him hit crazy between leg shot, passing shots. But yeah, thanks, Peaches, for joining in. I have the night session Montreal on Twitter threads, but I'll stay in the chat. Yeah, good to have you back. Good to have you. Ashley, good to have you as well. Good to have everybody in here. Everybody's here for the Alcaraz-Paul third set. Paul forehand, crossing the forehand of Alcaraz. Paul forehand, inside out, backhand of Alcaraz, way up high. Paul puts away a volley. Alcaraz slips up a bit. I hope he's fine. Goes for a very intense movement there. I hope he's okay. 30-15. Alcaraz, one of the best athletes in the world. It always scares me, though. I'm not going to lie. Listen, Alcaraz has his whole future ahead of him, but those kind of movements always scare me a bit. Because it's not like he's never gotten injured. He did just enough to not overextend his right ankle there, but it's a forehand shank from Paul. 30-all. 30-all. But Alcaraz hasn't had many injuries since Rio, or physical issues since Rio, I believe. He was out of the Australian Open. He had a problem at the end of Rio, but that's why he's 49-4 on the season, going for his 50th victory. 30-all here to start out this third set. ATP Cincy draws out the bottom half is crazy. Okay, I'll have to check that out too. Kick serve out wide, forehand from Paul into the forehand of Carlos, forehand Paul. That goes out. Break point for Carlos to start us out early here. Break point for Carlos. This would be bad for Paul. But yeah, ATP since he draws out the bottom half is great. I gotta check that out. I totally forgot. I forgot Cincinnati is so close. I'm so focused on Canada. Forgot Cincinnati is so close. It's almost 2 a.m. Where am I doing? What am I doing? Yeah, shout out to everybody staying up. Sean, I'm dead after Swiatek versus Collins match. I don't know what you are doing. Yeah, Faison's a goat. Staying up for these matches. It's a backhand cross, backhand of Carlos, backhand of Paul. Forehand of Carlos, shanked into the crowd. It's deuce. This is a big game to start us off early here. Massive. Listen, it's sometimes hard to think about it that way mentally, right? You're starting the set. You're like, okay, well, the first game is the first game. We got 5-6 more to go. We got potentially 12 more to go. But no, the first game of the set can be as big as any other game, and it's a big one here for Paul. Serve out wide. That's a shot that goes out from Alcaraz. Shot that goes out from Alcaraz. All credit to Paul. That's it. Paul's playing a very strong level. I didn't expect anything else. Advantage here, Paul. Kick serve back in from Alcaraz. That's a great return. Forehand into the forehand of Paul. Cross. Forehand of Alcaraz. Forehand of Paul into the backhand of Alcaraz. The backhand of Paul. Backhand slice of Alcaraz down the line. Forehand of Paul to the backhand of Alcaraz. Backhand Paul. The backhand of Alcaraz. Backhand Paul. The forehand of Alcaraz. We're going corner to corner. It's forehand to forehand. Tommy trying to get the advantage in a long rally. It's a forehand here. Inside out. Backhand pass from Carlos into the net. 1-0 for Paul after about a 20-shot rally at least. Maybe the longest rally of the match. 1-0 here for Paul. That was a strong hold to start us off. Hey, what's up, Joseph? Hello from Australia. Hey, shout out. Glad to have you over here. What's the time in Australia? That's got to be kind of crazy. Or is it early morning? It might be early morning. I'm bad with that. 10:54 a.m. Okay. Early times in Australia. Good to have you. Good day features. That's it. Oh, well, Faison US swing is going to be tough for you. Yeah. Hopefully Faison and the rest of the commentators on the channel can commentate as much as they can. Hopefully we have others commentating as well. Obviously, I'm from the States. I'm going to try to commentate as much as possible. I'm super excited to do a lot of matches, hopefully some big ones too. Hopefully Faison can commentate as much as he can too. We're at 1-0 here. 1-0 here, an hour and 43 minutes into the match. Carlos serving. Serve out wide, forehand from Paul, forehand of Carlos into the backhand of Paul, cross into the backhand of Carlos. Forehand of Paul into the backhand of Carlos. Backhand Paul, backhand Carlos, cross, backhand Paul, backhand Carlos. The forehand of Carlos, cross court. Forehand from Carlos, down the line. Backhand Paul is going to be too good. Cross court. Ooh, Carlos slips up a bit. I hope he's okay. Carlos gives a thumbs up. It could have been risky. Carlos got to be careful. He's done a few risky movements here. Carlos gives a thumbs up, but he did slide a bit. Carlos fell over. I don't know if he fell on his hands. That's not what you want. Better than hitting your head or something, but Carlos pulled out way to the due side and then way out to the outside. Really almost dove for that shot. Yeah, he looked fine. That wasn't as bad as it looked on the first try. If anything, it was his foot, but I think he's okay. He did roll a bit. And he did fall on his elbow, so that might be a thing too, but I think he's fine. I think he's okay. Serve from Carlos back into Paul. Backhand from Carlos. It's a backhand, a forehand down the middle from Paul. It goes out, 15-all. Nearly 11 a.m. Yeah, I got you, Joseph. You hear that Kyrgios out US Open? Yeah, super unfortunate. Because Kyrgios played well at the US Open last year. That was a classic against Medvedev. At least that first set was classic. I can't believe how good that first set against Medvedev was at the US Open. That was one of the best sets of tennis of the year last year, and it's sad to see Kyrgios out of the US Open, no doubt about it. Serve down the line, goes out. Serve coming here from Carlos. Paul ready on the return. Big forehand, cross. Alcaraz keeps stepping into the court. That's getting him out of position for Paul, who's returning very aggressively. Big forehand right to the backhand volley. What a volley. Ooh, hits the tape, goes back and aside from Alcaraz. We're at 15-30. Listen, I got a feeling in my gut like this is – I got a feeling in my gut for Paul. Like Paul might still really trouble Alcaraz in this third set. That's my gut feeling. That's my gut feeling. We're at 15-30 here. Hour and 46 minutes into this one. But listen, I had a bit of a gut feeling for Hubie as well, and Hubie couldn't finish it off. It looked like Hubie was really troubling Alcaraz for pretty much the whole match. It's 15-30 here. Can Tommy Paul do something to start off this third set? Forehand missed, whiffed from Paul. 30 all. 30 all. Max, I doubt any current WTA player can attempt to wear the outfit and do the choreography of dirty. Try and distract me in the chat, Max. Joseph, you glad to have you. Max as well. Peaches, everybody in here. Sean, thank you all for joining in. It's 30 all, 1-0 in this third set. Alcaraz serving. Thank you all for joining in. This is a good match of tennis here. 30 all here. Alcaraz with the second serve. Alcaraz with the second serve. It's the let on the second serve. Hour and 47 minutes in. Or hour and 48 minutes, I should say. Tight moments in this third set. Tight moments in this third set. Alcaraz serve. That's a double fault. Double faulting at crucial moments is Alcaraz in this match. That's not a good sign. Alcaraz's serve is not there for him, and it's just not there for him. 30-40 in this one. 30-40 in this one. 30-40. 30-40 in this match. Paul on the return. Alcaraz first serve into the net. 30-40 here. We're at 30-40 here. Back and return to the forehand of Carlitos. Forehand of Paul. That goes out. Deuce. We're at deuce here. We're at deuce. Big moments in this match. Serve out wide, forehand of Paul, forehand of Carlos, backhand Paul, backhand volley of Carlos, forehand pass, it's in the net. Advantage to All right, guys, I'm starting to lag up here a bit. After this game, I'm going to jump off, then jump on just real quickly. Hopefully that fixes up the connection a bit. Starting to blur up a bit, lag up, but we should get that fixed up. It's 1-0 here. Carlos serving at advantage. We'll be here for the rest of this match. And center Monfils after it, too. I'll be commentating for that. Advantage here for Carlitos. It's a serve, and ace down the line is too good. An ace down the line is too good from Carlos. One game apiece. One game apiece. All right, I'm going to jump off for 1 second, then jump right back on. Hopefully that fixes the connection up. Be back in 1 second. Guys, back to this one. All right, 15 love here for Paul. 15 love here for Paul. Serve from Paul, backhand of Alcaraz, backhand Paul. The forehand of Alcaraz, backhand Paul. Cross on the backhand of Carlos, backhand Paul into the backhand of Carlos, just crossed the net. We're backhand to backhand rally. It's a forehand, tops and forehand into that ad side, right on the baseline for Paul. Getting out of this game. Sorry, guys, I'm lagging up. I'm being blurred up. We'll try to fix that up. It's 30 love here for 40 love here for Paul. Big serve. It's out from Paul. Okay, guys, I'm gonna anyway. I'll hopefully. All right, what's up? Am I better here? I think I actually just came back. I think connection got better. I think connection got better. We started lagging up for a second. Okay, I'll keep an eye on that. If that happens again, I got a way to fix that too. But yeah, I think we're good for right now. Anyway, I appreciate y'all sticking around. We got the end of this one. Paul being up 2-1. Paul's up 2-1. Anthony here for Quality Shot. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And yeah, I appreciate Matt too, as well, for pointing it out. But yeah, thoughts on Demon beating Medvedev? I didn't expect it. I really did not expect Demonor to get it over Medvedev. I mean, I know I didn't. I far from thought that was a shoe-in match, but I was like, they both have a defensive game, but Demonor's really done well at being more offensive-minded this year, and he beat him in Paris indoors last year. So that, I'm sure, gave Demonor confidence as well. And they've had a few close matches, but I really thought Medvedev would get it because of his history in Canada. But wasn't a great match from Medvedev. Let's see how he plays in Cincinnati and New York. We got 15 love here for Paul. 15 love here for Paul. Let's see how this match finishes up. I was torn. I'm Aussie, but I really like Medi. Yeah, I feel like Joseph. It's hard not to like Daniel. Daniel is just hilarious and down to earth and insane, and just this coolest dude. Daniel is always fun to watch in interviews, and what I mean by insane is just like he says some of the like funniest stuff. Don't mean it more than that. Only in a positive way. Like a mad genius on the court is Daniel. And he's so fun to watch with this game. Very unorthodox, but also just very, I don't know, pleasing to watch in some way. 30 love. Sean True, Ghost would like it. Yeah, I think Ghost would. I think Ghost would be here for it. I hope Carlos can stay clutch. Yeah, absolutely. Hope Carlos can stay clutch. I want to see an epic third set here. I want to see an epic third set. 15-all here, Carlos serving. 15 all. Hour and 57 minutes into this match. Serve out wide, forehand return from Paul. Backhand, that's a big shot from Carlos. We're at 30-15. We are at 30-15. By the way, don't forget, guys, after this one, we're not done. We're not done. We keep it going and going and going and going. Sleep when you're dead. We got Sinner versus Monfils on after this. Sleep when you're dead. We got Yannick taking on Gale after this. That's a once-in-a-lifetime match. Hope you guys stick around for it. Or I got your sleeping, if you need it. But stick around because that is going to be good. Gale in a Masters quarterfinal taking on Yannick, who should like his chances in this tournament, to be honest. If we get Alcaraz, that's going to be a good match. Backhand slice down the line to the forehand of Carlos, cross on the forehand of Paul. Forehand of Alcaraz, that's a big shot down the line. Big shot down the line. I'm a Medi fan too, but Demon is moving up the ranks. Yeah, I called it after last year. There was a question. Who are your players going under the radar at the end of 2022? And my pick was Demon. I picked Demon, David Goffin. Goffin didn't age very well, but Demon did. Demon, I thought, was playing very well last year. He just really didn't grab the results to show off his level, but he was playing much more offensive-minded. He was close in a bunch of big matches. He beat Medvedev in Paris. I was expecting him to have a good season. And listen, I wouldn't be shocked if at some point he climbs into the top 10. He's still young too, 24. It's crazy, 0-10 against Tsitsipas. That's a crazy stat, really. There's nothing like that. Forehand inside out to the backhand slice of Paul. Forehand of Alcaraz into the forehand of Paul. Goes long, 2-all. 2 games apiece here. We are at 2 games apiece here. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying it. Anthony Hirsch here for QualityShot Tennis. It's Anthony Hirsch here for QualityShot Tennis. That both players are at 2 games all in the third set, almost 2 hours in. Like I said, we'll be here for Sinner versus Monfils next. And don't forget to like the video if you're enjoying it. Subscribe if you're new, all of that. And let's enjoy the rest of this one. 2 a.m. in Nigeria. Wow, that's wild. Shout out you too, Fawaz. Shout out you too. Fawaz, are you staying up for Sinner Monfils? That's the question. You might need to get your sleep in, but if you are, you're a legend. Legend anyway. Milo, Alcaraz, let's do it. Yeah, absolutely. 2 games all here. Almost 2 hours into this match. See what Carlos can do. Ball serve. That's a good serve. Good catch by the ball kid too, by the way. Alcaraz return goes out. Perfectly into the hands of the ball girl, who catches it on the side. 15 love. 15 love here. Both guys playing a high level now, too. I mean, Paul played a really high level for the first, set and a half of this match. Alcaraz played a high level for the second set, towards the second half of the second set, and to start this one off. And now Tommy Paul is really matching him, too. We're having a high level here. Forehand to the forehand of Carlos, forehand of Paul, into the forehand of Carlos, forehand Paul. He's got to stay aggressive. Forehand Carlos, forehand Paul. We're going cross-court, cross-court. Is it cross-court again? No, it's inside out. Carlos somehow there on the full slide, but it goes out. 30 love. 30 love. Tommy Paul pushing and pushing. Is that going to be enough? Really have no idea what's going to happen in this match, to be honest with you. You got to feel like Alcaraz finds a way, but Tommy Paul's been tough in this match, and I feel like he's got the fearlessness to really get a win like this. He's had a great season. Semifinals of Canada would be something to add there, too. Forehand of Paul just clips the tape and goes over. 40 love. Alcaraz with a soccer kick, a little bit out of frustration, I think. 40 love. 40 love for Paul. By the way, Tommy Paul last year nearly got to the semis of Canada. I mean, he beat Alcaraz, and then he nearly got to the semis of Canada. And he got there with one of my personal, probably a top 5 personal favorite match of last year. And listen, last year was crazy for matches. This year's been crazy too. It's been crazy for a lot of stuff. Ooh, Alcaraz there with a flick, completely mishits it off the back end. 3-2. Tommy Paul gives a smile to Carlos. Don't know what that's about, but it's 3-2. Alcaraz mishits the flick. They're having some weird points, 3-2 in this third set. But yeah, Tommy Paul in the quarterfinals of Canada last year was in Montreal. He played an amazing 3-set match against Dan Evans. Listen, I know that, but I'm like, what are you talking about? How can Dan Evans versus Tommy Paul be one of the best matches of 2023? Well, the shot making of that match, every point was different. Both were playing at their highest level, and just the athletic points that they were getting was just amazing. So, yeah, it was that match was wild. But anyway, it was Dan Evans who reached the semifinals of Canada. His best result at a Masters. I don't think Tommy Paul's reached the semifinals of a Masters. That was his closest quarterfinal there in Canada last year. But yeah, let's see if he can do it this year. I want to look at the Cincinnati draw too. I might look over the Cincinnati draw and maybe do a little bit of predictions too during the Monfils stream. I don't know if I'm going to do it much now. This is big moments here. I want to keep focused on the match. But so you can join into that stream too if you want to see me go over the Cincinnati draw. I don't think I'll be going over it much in this stream, but I'll definitely check it out on the next one. I haven't seen any of it yet. All I heard is from Faison. Faison let me know. Bottom half is crazy. That's the only thing I know. That's what Faison said. So excited, by the way, for stuff coming up on QualityShot Tennis. We got stuff coming up towards around when Cincinnati is happening, a little bit after that too. We got a lot of fun stuff happening. I'm hoping to do a lot of streams. If Sinner Alcaraz happens, I would so want to commentate that match tomorrow. That would be so much fun. But yeah, let's see what happens. Cincinnati draw is nuts. Is it a lot of crazy first rounders like Murray Monfils or something? You know, Murray team or whatever. Murray taking on Alcaraz or something. I'm wondering what it is. It's a backhand that just crosses the net. Drop shot from Carlos. Paul is there. Pushes it. Carlos there again on the slide. Listen, Carlos got to be careful. It's level 15. Carlos, watch out. Carlos got to be careful. He's making me worried every time he's going for these slides. Where's this match with Djokovic versus Paul? No. Djokovic, we saw what Djokovic Paul is in Australia. We're here for Alcaraz Paul. Alcaraz Paul is a great matchup. I hope people know now, like, Alcaraz Paul is crazy. We got that between the leg shot from Alcaraz. Listen, their match in Miami was nuts. And their match in Canada, it really showed what this rivalry can bring. Paul is the type of player that can really test Alcaraz. It's not just because Alcaraz has played a relatively poor match for him, but Korda versus Coric. Okay, well, yeah, that's my first taste of it. I feel like those are two good players. Neither are really informed, though. So I don't know if that'll be the highest level match, even though on paper it's good. Backhand goes out from Paul, 15-all. George is defending a bunch of points. That's right. I totally forgot about that, Matt. I'm glad you pointed that out because I totally forgot. Yeah. George is defending 1,000 points. And that's a tough match against Korda. I feel like he's got it, though. I would pick George, especially since he has that motivation. I feel like that'll be more motivation than, pressure. But that's a good one. Especially because of that. Alcaraz, yeah. Let's see what Carlitos can do. 15-all. Forehand goes out from Paul. 30-15 for Carlos. Listen, Sinner Alcaraz at the U.S. Open last year is one of my favorite matches of all time. Might be my favorite. It's right up there. And I say that as somebody who loves tennis history. I've loved the tennis Big Three era more than anybody else. But that match is just like a personal one of my favorites. I love that match. And if we could get another one of theirs during this North American hardcourt thing, that would be crazy. That was a great match. It's a backhand cross in the backhand of Alcaraz. Forehand of Paul into the forehand of Carlos. Just crossed the net. Forehand. Going cross court. Forehand just goes out from Alcaraz. 30-all. Alcaraz is feeling out those legs a little bit. He did fall. He's fallen a few times during the set. And he needs to be careful for Cincinnati too. Like we're saying, Cincinnati's coming up. By the way, this girl right next to Carlos is super excited. Taking photos of Carlos. Yeah, 30-all here, 2-3. 2-3 here, 30-all. She had like a full-on smile on her face, 30-all. It reminds me of the ball kid the other day who, in that Hopman Cup exhibition, who was just fully in love with Carlos right next to him on the court. It was hilarious. Forehand drop shot. Carlos. Paul's going to be there somehow. He gets under it. Carlos. Paul smash. Carlos can't get it. Amazing get for Paul. Somehow I just knew he was going to get there. Maybe I'm in a telekinesis with Paul, but 30-40. I got some mental connection with Paul. He's run super quick in this match. We're at 30-40. 3-2. Paul trying to break away here in this third set. Paul got under there quick, and then it was an easy smash put away. Easy smash put away. Oh, yeah. 2 hours and 7 minutes into this match. 2 hours and 7 minutes into this match. Carlos here serving. Huge point. Huge moment here. Carlos to serve. Serve out wide. Hits the tape. Doesn't go over. Is Paul going to kick Carlos out of Toronto? This is a big moment for that. 1 point. Carlos serve. Kick serve. Backhand into the backhand of Carlos. Forehand of Paul. He has a chance. Backhand Carlos just gets over a tape, but with some pace. Forehand. He almost hits a drop shot. Runs to net out of nowhere. Misses the volley into the net. Tommy Paul's got 4-2. Tommy Paul's got 4-2. Paul's beaten Alcaraz in Canada before. Wow. Wow. Alcaraz, Paul trying to give Alcaraz his 5th loss of the year. Who thought? And who thought the American really testing out Alcaraz? Listen, I was picking good things for Paul when I picked out my Canada draw. It sounds stupid, but I really want to even put him even further than I did in that draw. I only didn't do it because I was live, and people are going to be like, Anthony, why is Tommy Paul in the quarters or semis? But I'm huge on Tommy Paul. He was 7th in the race going into the clay season. The clay by far is worse, but we're on hard courts. We're back on hard courts, and Paul plays well on hard courts. He played amazing in Canada last year. He's bringing it this year. He's 2 games away. He's got the break. Never count out Alcaraz, but it's Paul with the momentum. Forehand into the net from Paul, though. Love 15. Never count out nerves. Never count out nerves. That's the underrated player on the court. More Cincy matches. Fritz and Lehechka. Norrie and Monfils. Cam Norrie versus Gale is amazing. That's incredible. Norrie versus Monfils is awesome. Norrie played amazing in Cincinnati last year. That's the match. I don't care what else is going on. I'm tuning into that one. Backhand slice comes to net. Alcaraz with a few nervy, bad shots coming into the net. I'm here for the Norrie Monfils match. Hell yeah. Fritz and Lehechka, that's good too. Fritz and Lehechka played in United Cup right when Lehechka was just coming up on the tour this year. Wow, Tommy, I'm more impressed. Yeah, Peaches. Tommy has really brought it. Don't forget to like the video as well. If we could get 30 likes by the end of the stream, that'd be cool. I think I'm being a little greedy, though. Being a little greedy, but anyway, I appreciate you all joining in. Either way, it's been a fun stream. It's a forehand chip down the middle, forehand inside out. That's a great shot from Paul. Alcaraz somehow gets on the full slide. Smash put away. Paul is 6 points away. Paul is 6 points away from the 5th loss of Alcaraz's, I was going to say career. Close, but Alcaraz has lost more than 5 times. 5th loss of Alcaraz's year. Man, Paul very close to your yeah side to mixed reactions from the crowd. Murray and Hachanov, yeah. Murray Hachanov is great too. Wow. I hope Hachanov is healthy and plays. Hachanov's played crazy. That's a tough match for Murray. Tough match for both. Both of them kind of coming off of health concerns. It's a backhand into the net from Paul. You got great energy. I appreciate it, Joseph. I appreciate it. I just got that energy in me. You got to bring it. You got to bring it. There's a time and place, and the time and place to bring the energy. So when you're watching the tennis, man, Paul very close to win. That's it. Gotta bring the energy. That's what life's about. There's nothing else. It's all about having fun and watching tennis. If you enjoy it, it's 30 all here, 4-2. Serve into the backhand of Carlos. Forehand to the forehand of Carlos. Down the middle. Forehand Paul into the forehand of Carlos. That's in the net. 40-30 for Paul. I got hype when I watch tennis. You got to bring the hype. You got to bring the energy. I don't want Carlos to be another one bites the dust. All right. It's a Queen Classic. 40-30 here for Paul for his 2nd win over Carlos in Canada. How crazy is that to beat Carlos twice in Canada? Like I said, he would just be the 10th guy to beat Carlos, to have a winning head-to-head against Carlos, and just the 4th player, 4. He would just be the 4th player to have a winning head-to-head over Carlos, having played over 3 matches. I hope I put up the right amount of fingers. But having won over 3 matches. That's crazy. Listen, only 10 players through Carlos's whole young career have a winning head-to-head over Carlos. And only 4 of those players have played him at least twice. Paul is trying to add to the list. And both times would be in Canada. One time in Montreal, one time in Toronto. Manuel Alcaraz. Let's see if Carlos can come back. You just can't count out Carlos Alcaraz, right? That's one reason I love that Sinner Alcaraz match last year at the US Open. It was such a perfect moment in the sport where it was like, it was after Wimbledon. Djokovic wins another Wimbledon. We were like, when are these super young players going to step up and show us amazing tennis? When are we going to be excited for this next era of tennis? Alcaraz, with an amazing comeback in that match, really shows us his mentality and just why we should believe in the mentality of the younger players. Because people are like, these young players are not clutch. These young players can't clutch it out. They're mentally folding. Against the big three, none of them can win majors. Well, guess what? Alcaraz has really shown that the young guys can be mentally strong. And let's see if he can do it again. And Jannik Sinner in that match, too, shown how well he can play, how he can test out Carlos. But anyway, the young guys can do it. Let's see if he can do it against Paul. It's 5-2, all momentum with Paul. Carlos is disappointing sometimes. Yeah, everybody's got ups and downs. He's only 20. He's not even at his peak yet, which has got to be the scariest thing. But, maybe he is, but I don't know. Let's see what we can do. Hey, we got Ghost in the house. Ghost, you joined in just in time. Ghost, Ghost, and everybody else, join in Cinnamon Feast. That's on after this too, but we're here for the rest of this one. Hope you guys are enjoying it. To serve out wide, Carlos needs to stay resilient right now. Absolutely. He's kind of been mentally off in Toronto, I feel like, just a little bit. As usual. New Jersey in the house. US, that's it. Nice. That's it, Ghost. Forehand, backhand is a forehand of Carlos inside out. That's a great shot from Carlos. 15 love. Carlos fist bumps. He still believes. Sinner Monfils going to be fun. I'm so excited for Jannik versus Monfils. I'm excited for that one. That's a good forehand winner from Carlos. We're going to bring a hype for that one. That's going to be great. Late in the night session. Hurkacz came back from 5-2 against Carlos yesterday. He was down a double break. Carlos will remember that. He knows it's not done yet, especially knowing that's him trying to come back. Carlos got the confidence. It's 30 love. 2-5, 30 love. Yeah, I appreciate you guys joining in. Anthony Hirsch here for Quality Shot Tennis. Anthony here for Quality Shot. Don't forget to like and sub as well. It's 30 love here for Carlos. We'll be here for the rest of this one. Then Sinner Monfils on after that too. That one's going to be great. 40 love. 40 love. Tommy Paul trying to finish off Carlos Alcaraz for the second time in his career. Tommy Paul, like I said, he's had a good season. He was 7th in the race going into the clay season. He's 26-17 on the season. He's had a good season. Final of Acapulco, he's had a good season, but Alcaraz again with a volley right off the baseline. I don't know if that's a good play. Lob, but easy smash for Paul, 40-15. Easy smash for Paul, 40-15. Canadian hard looks so fast. Is that an optical illusion? It's quick. Canadian has fast hard courts. It's quick. Hey, chat, I hope everyone is... Well, I appreciate it, Ghost. Yeah, hope you're doing well, too. Tommy Paul winning would make up for my girl, Danielle. Losing Tiga, nice. The favorite, at least the favorites always seem to balance out a little bit. Favorites seem to always balance out a little bit. 40-15. Yeah, Paul. I like Paul too. I like both these guys, but Tommy Paul, this will be a huge win for him. Really showing that 2023 has been an exceptional season for Paul. 5-3 here. Tommy Paul trying to finish off Carlos Alcaraz and give him his 5th loss of the year. I mean, listen, people thought that this could be dangerous after seeing that Hurkacz match. Alcaraz hasn't brought his best in Toronto. Paul beat him in Canada last year. Let's see what he can do, Manuel. Let's see what happens in this last game, Manuel. Paul's close to the win. And thank you guys for sticking around. We're here for this last game. 5-3. Let's see if Tommy Paul can close out Carlos Alcaraz. Carlos Alcaraz on a 14-match win streak since Wimbledon. 1 Wimbledon, 1 Queens. It's a backhand. Jumping back in return from Carlos, and just another weird shot, another weird decision. 15 love. 15 love here. Don't forget to like the video if you're enjoying it. Don't forget to sub as well. We'll be here for Sinner versus Monfils. We'll be here for the end of this one. Hope you guys enjoying it. Paul is 3 points away from the win here. And Paul's really picked it up. He lost the plot a little bit during that second set. Wasn't hitting as many winners. Was doing much worse on serve, but he's picked it back up in the third set. And that's impressive. That's impressive from Tommy. He was running off confidence from last year's win in Canada as well, I'm sure. Backhand to the backhand of Tommy. Backhand slice from Carlos. The forehand of Paul. Carlos there on the stretch. Forehand for Paul. Backhand from Carlos. Big slide. Forehand into the net. Carlos giving his all to say in this one. 15-all in this one now. 15-all in this one now. 15-all in this one now. 5-3. Big moment here. Listen, that match at Wimbledon was historic. And since that match, Carlos is on a 14-match win streak. This would be Carlos's first loss since to Djokovic at Roland Garros. Paul serve, backhand, return from Carlos, backhand from Carlos into the backhand of Paul, backhand of Carlos into the forehand of Paul on the stretch. Carlos in control, forehand. Paul with a pass. What a shot from Tommy. Tommy leaving it all out there. Carlos on the ground. It reminds me of Carlos's last loss on hard courts. That amazing rally where Yannick passed Carlos and left Carlos on the ground. That was Carlos Alcaraz's last loss on hard courts. And that was his second to last loss period, if I'm not mistaken. Or I guess third to last, Mirage on in Rome as well. It's a backhand to the forehand of Paul, forehand of Paul into the forehand of Carlos, cross, forehand of Paul, backhand of Carlos down the line, forehand of Paul scrambling. Paul's playing really well here, but it's too good cross court. Carlos raises his fist. What can Carlos Alcaraz do? We've seen it before from Carlos Alcaraz. He's got that big three edge in him. He's got that look in his eye. He will fight. I mean, I don't know if it's big three level, but might just be. He's 49-4 on the season. He just doesn't lose. Will it be Tommy Paul? Will it be Tommy Paul to end this 14-match win streak? We got Carlos Alcaraz raising the fist. We're at 30-all. We're at 30-all here. Paul to serve. Serve out wide. That's a great serve. It's not good enough for Alcaraz. It's a match point for Paul. Like I said earlier, Tommy Paul... Yeah, he's only three guys have played Alcaraz more than twice and have a winning head-to-head over Alcaraz. Only 9 guys, period, throughout Alcaraz's whole young career have a winning head-to-head against Alcaraz. Paul trying to go up 2-1 and get his second win over Alcaraz in Canada. First serve, just catch the back of the line. Forehand from Alcaraz is big. Forehand of Paul. Forehand of Alcaraz into forehand of Paul. It goes wide, though. Tennis. It's not over till it's over, especially when Carlos Alcaraz is on the court. Hoping that Alcaraz will transform for the US Open, Manuel. Yup. Lamont going to need to be error-free to get past Sinner. Yeah, after this, we got Sinner taking on Monfils. We're going to bring the hype for that one, too. Chat knows that I'm a Sinner fan. And I'm a Monfils fan, too. We go hype for players like that. 2 talented guys. And it's Paul here serving at deuce. Paul forehand, big. Alcaraz forehand for a pass, but it's in the net. Alcaraz, you just got to feel like he just didn't bring his best in Canada. But it's listen, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. He can't win every tournament, but still, he'll be disappointed, I'm sure. It's advantage to Tommy Paul, especially losing in the quarterfinals. If he lost to Sinner, then he'd be like, okay. And Tommy Paul is a great player. Alcaraz is going to be disappointed. It's a kick serve into the backhand of Carlos. Right on the baseline, drop shot. Alcaraz always with the tight moments. Drop shot is a backhand pass from Tommy Paul, who gives Alcaraz his 5th loss of the season. First loss since before the grass court season for Alcaraz. First loss in Djokovic at RG. Alcaraz just doesn't lose, but it's Tommy Paul gets his 2nd win over Alcaraz, and it's a winning head-to-head. Tommy Paul, and people know that Tommy Paul goes a little bit under the radar. Tommy Paul said, you know what, I like that. You know what, I like that. Tommy Paul said, you know what, I like that. I like being under the radar. I got to semifinals of Australia. I did this, I did that. I'm an athlete, I'm a shot maker. Tommy Paul gets the win. He's in the semis of Canada. Something he was close to doing last year, too. He gets it done this year. Suddenly the draw is wide open for Jannik. Jannik Sinner, the only guys left in the tournament. Before we get into Sinner Monfils, which is up next, Sinner, the only guys left in the tournament for Sinner, Gael Monfils, who's playing great, but all these guys are playing great. But Gael Monfils, Tommy Paul, Alex de Minaur, Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. Sinner's draw is wide open. Let's see if he can get it done against Monfils. Take a spot in the semis against Paul. Great match from Paul, though. All eyes on Paul. GG, Paul. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you enjoy it. Don't forget to like the video. It's been Anthony here for Quality Shot. Hope you guys enjoy it. Giant match. Carlos Alcaraz, he just doesn't lose. He loses here. 14-match win streak done. He's 49-5 on the season going into Cincinnati. Let's see if he can improve results in Cincinnati. He couldn't really do it in Canada from last year. This is so big for Tommy Paul. He's had a great season all year. He was 7th in the race going into the clay season. Yippee woo. Alcaraz is going to be disappointed, but Tommy Paul is going to be ecstatic. Is Carlos going to Cincy next? Yes, Carlos will be in Cincinnati next. Okay, guys, I'm going to link it up in the chat. Sinner taking on Gael Monfils. Jannik Sinner's draws wide open, late night in Toronto. I'm a fan of both guys. Gael Monfils is a talent of talents. Who knows how many more times we'll see him in a Masters quarterfinal. He's having a dream run, and he's back to playing a great ball as he can play. All right, guys, I'm about to go live on the Sinner Monfils match. That's going to be up here. We got the Sinner Monfils stream for you. We're going to be covering that. I'm going to link it up in the chat. I'll link it up in the chat. Hope you guys join in. That one's going to be fun. Put it up here. All right, it's linked up in the chat, guys. All right, I'm out of here. Alcaraz with his 5th loss of the season. Alcaraz with his 5th loss of the season. 92% of chat said that Alcaraz is going to win. And no wonder. He was 49-4 on the season. Doesn't quite get his 50th win. Some guys are going to have to go. Not everybody can play amazing every week. And Alcaraz, Tommy Paul played incredible tennis today. Very athletic. Alcaraz, Paul, the rivalry keeps proving itself to be a very good rivalry from a guy who's world number 1 and a guy who's really just climbed inside the top 15, but it's really turned out to be a good rivalry. 6-3, 4-6, 6-3 for Paul. 2 hours and 20 minutes. Tommy Paul proven to be a problem for Alcaraz, as is aggressive players like Paul who can really push Alcaraz out. Listen, people are going to start going down on Alcaraz. He's played an amazing season so far. He'll be back. I hope. We'll see what he can do. But he'll be disappointed. It's Tommy Paul who gets the win with amazing athletic play. We're going to see some great athletic play in Sinner versus Monfils. Be there for that one.